let's do like sort of like generic character like introductions. So let's start with like Alex because he's on the far left, and then we'll move like from left to right. So like just Alex to be like, I'm Alex, and my character is whatever Brunhilde. I don't actually remember. And anything you really want to say, or like if you want to physically describe your character, you can. If you just want to give like a short description or whatever, like about like what they're like or whatever, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be specific. It could be very little if you want, or very much. Let's start with like that, and then I'll do the campaign intro for like what the campaign's about and stuff like that.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm playing Nidra Solon, a disciple of the Queen of Death, and I think that's a good wrap-up of what she is.
Okay.
My name is Juan. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm playing Lucas, the drunk paladin, and it looks like I'm already in character. So let's get this started.
Kyle?
Okay, so I guess to me now, Juan kind of jumped me, so I wasn't sure.
No. Juan was definitely second, dude. You're third.
Okay, well, I'm Kyle. I'm playing basically a sand mummy. So
he's a moo
that's basically, yeah. I'm like a moo except for not tiny.
Or sad.
And it's basically really like a. For those of you familiar already with 3.5, it's an arcane hierophant, so it's druid wizard. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Kyle Whittington.
I'm also Kyle. My character's name is Boar. He is a Gish fighter with some weird throwing abilities, and we'll see how it goes.
Oh my gosh, I just realized something. I forgot to draw a hand on your character.
That's okay, he don't need one.
Oh my gosh, he's got leprosy.
The sword is just gonna kind of float in air.
Okay. Oh, you could just take in leprosy as a flaw. Clearly,
leprosy is my flaw.
Yeah,
it is now decided.
All right, Shao, what's up?
So I'm Shao. I'm playing Ven Yong as an elf pirate captain, and I guess we'll start from there.
All right, that's good enough. Alrighty, let's get that screen out of the way. All right, so most of you guys are already familiar with this campaign, and by most I mean 3 of you. So that is most. Still, technically, it's 3 out of 5. And Shao did play a guest session, so he knows everything about the campaign, obviously. So Meepo.
Yeah, right. Wait, what are you talking about? That session where you kill me in like?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you died like right away.
What? That's not true. It was like round 3. That's not right away.
Yeah, round 3, except by having like 6 people or like 4 wolves or something. It just chowed down on my character.
Oh my gosh.
I wasn't gonna play this.
If you didn't want to die, you should have had more DR. Anyway, all right. So Meepo is a high fantasy campaign. It's not like a Tippyverse or anything like that, but I would say that we play generally a little bit higher power level than most campaigns that I've been exposed to. Meepo takes place 1,000 years after what's known as the period of high magic, and the name of the campaign is Meepo. It's named after the wizard who was the most prominent figure during the period of high magic. Essentially, whenever something goes wrong or there's some problem, it's because a wizard did it, and that wizard is Meepo. Everything is Meepo's fault, essentially, as far as you guys know. You've never actually met Meepo. You did see like Meepo sort of like what she looked like in sort of that magic room like forever, like years ago, but as far as you know, it's always Meepo's fault, and this has been the recurring theme. So a lot of stuff has happened, but that gives a general idea of the campaign setting. There's 2 major kingdoms on the continent of what's called Inworld, named after it being supposedly the entire world, supposedly. And that is the Kingdom of Ilithiendiel in the north and the Kingdom of Tripsick in the south. The Kingdom of Tripsick is sort of, it's very Romanesque. It's like if Rome never actually fell and instead kept going, but it's sort of fused a little bit with sort of like medieval Britain. So I think it's like a mix between Rome if it kept going, and medieval Britain, whereas being also magic. And that's actually where our campaign is going to take place. There's another kingdom called Militelion, which is much smaller, and it's considered the adventuring hub kingdom. It's where most adventurers will stop by when they're going on some quest or something like that. Which, that's where, most of the previous campaign took place there in Ilithandil. This campaign, we're going to spend a lot of time in Tripsick. Hopefully. Alright, so basically summary of the game. So, with that being said, we're actually going to start, not only in Tripsick, we're going to be starting in Tripoli, which, as probably all of you know, hopefully by now, that you guys all read the documents, right? I'm sure.
I actually did it.
Oh my gosh, I assumed one of you guys did. So we will be starting in Tripoli. Tripoli is a metropolis. It has a population of over 1 million, and it's the capital of Tripsick, which is the more powerful of all the kingdoms on the continent. And Tripoli is ruled by a monarchy as well, and the monarchy is influenced heavily by what's called the Oaken Chairs. So they are the 8 most influential nobles of the kingdom. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and read the campaign opening, and then I'm going to start with where we're starting. So, where we're at. It's the second month of winter. It's winter 2-1 in the great kingdom of Tripsick that lies at the edge of the known world. It's been an exciting 7 months. The muse of magic has been slain, 3 Oaken Chairs, the head nobles of Tripsick, have lost their positions, and a new one has been promoted in Lucas Clementis Amator. A new queen, Maedra Sidhe, now shares the throne of the great kingdom of Ilithandil to the north, and the first exploratory expedition into the Endless Sea to the south is finally returning after being sent well over a year ago. With all this happening, the son of King Edward, Prince Eland Edward, has called for a general nobles meeting in Tripoli, the metropolis capital of Tripsick. He wants to discuss the future of the great kingdom, the promotion of a new Oaken Chair, which is a serious position, as those who control the position directly speak to the king of the most powerful kingdom of the known world. Alright. Doop, 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 doop. Just changing screens real quick. Alrighty, so our story is actually going to begin with the man himself, Lucas Clementis Amator, the former paladin of Tripsick. Alright, Lucas. So, as I said, it's winter 2-1. It's early in the morning, the day of the nobles meeting. It's very early, like 7 a.m., right? And I'll let you go ahead and say where you are in a moment. Like, you are in your personal noble villa that, you rescued from Smanny Polyps some 6 months ago, and it's more like 7 or 8 months ago. You got from Smanny Polyps 8 months ago, and as per every morning that has been happening since you've moved back into your beautiful villa, there is just a racket outside. You can easily hear just people shouting. Now, obviously, you know what this is. Since you have moved back to Tripoli, due to your sort of interesting status as both being declared a hero to the city, but also being sort of responsible for the deaths of multiple nobles in the past, you have essentially both supporters and haters who generally are always within legal distance of your villa shouting to complain to you every single morning. The only interesting thing about this morning is that beyond just the usual people shouting, you also hear really loud but not like aggressive knocking at your door. Alright.
So, I sit up from bed, and I already start cursing my life. Like, fuck, not only did I have a terrible nightmare, now all this racket. So I shout, "Servant! Servant!"
You shout, and coming down the hall is a short man, and dressed pretty formally according to... he's dressed more like in so he's dressed in sort of like Roman-esque attire. He's actually wearing already like a tunic. He's wearing a tunic, and he is wearing his toga, despite the fact that he's not outside, which is kind of strange. And he asks you, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir."
Two things. The first one's the most important. Please go grab me my bottles of Ithalendial wine. The 10 of them. I think I'll need 10 for today. And then go get the carriage in the back door ready.
He bows. Absolutely, sir. And immediately goes to scurries off towards your wine cellar.
Yeah, and so while he's doing that, I dress myself.
Okay.
For the meeting.
Okay.
Slowly. Because
Okay.
because I have a splitting headache.
Okay.
And I wait for the servant to get back. Well, I guess while he's gone, I also read, because it's at the last minute, King Edward's meeting proposal.
Okay. 1 sec. So guys, Wendy's here, so I'm gonna add her to the call. If I can. I guess I can't. Oh well. Darn. Alright, we'll figure it out.
I made the call.
I made the call. But But I think she rejected the call, so I can't just add her again.
Oh, she says she's in the group. She just has to join it, I think.
Yeah, she doesn't join the call, yeah.
Oh, okay, then... Okay, that's fine. Someone else who's not in the middle of the story right now figured that out. Kyle, you're in charge. Liming.
No problem.
Anyway, so... Alrighty, so... you begin dressing very slowly because of your splitting headache. And your servant, who I've decided to name him Julius... comes back with all 10 bottles of wine wrapped up in his arm. Not necessarily the smartest way to carry wine. He sort of sees a bottle beginning to slip, and it begins to fall, and...
Oh, man.
He manages to catch it with his foot as it falls down.
Hello.
And as I see him, like, well, I'm glad you saved it. Your life depended on it. Just give him here already.
All right. Hey, Wendy. Welcome to the chat and the stream. You're live.
Well, that's fancy.
How was work?
Long.
Oof.
And chaotic.
I'm sorry. We've already started. If that's okay.
That's fine.
You literally just missed the campaign intro. Where we're at is that Lucas woke up in the morning. There's people shouting outside of his house like usual, and there's someone knocking on his door.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so you told the servant that his life depended on it?
Yeah.
All right. The servant kind of like nods respectfully, and he goes and he starts setting the wine bottles on like a dresser, but he's not. He doesn't seem like he's quite buying your threat. He doesn't really know you as the I murder servants type.
So
That's
as he starts to set those up, I start to put them away in my bag, and I ask him, "Is the chariot ready?"
Oh no sir, I got the wine first because I knew that you want the wine first.
Well, why don't I have multiple servants? Just tell the others to get the chariot ready.
Sir, there are no other servants.
Wait. What?
Today, the other... So, there's only 3 of us, and the other 2 they took the day off.
Why did they take the day off today out of all days when I have public business with the prince?
They said something about Northeasterner holiday or something.
Okay, anyways. Alright, well, 2 more... Well, after you get the carriage prepared, whoever's knocking on my door, get rid of him. Tell him... who knows? But do it after I leave. Make him knock the door for a little longer.
You don't want me to check who it is, sir?
No, I really don't care.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay,
All right.
Thank you.
What? Yes, sir. So he then leaves to go get your carriage.
Yeah, I guess I wait.
Okay.
I'll just wait in
All
my
right.
room with all the noise.
That's great. So timing wise, you wait, and nothing particularly exciting that entire happens. Eventually, the servant comes back. All right, sir, I got the carriage ready as best as I can. He's unfortunately currently looking like a mess. He has dirt on his clothes, and yeah, it looks like he fell in mud while trying to rein the horses or similar.
I look at him. I open a bottle of wine to start my day. I take a swig, and I'm like, you know what? Let the guy keep knocking on the door. You go clean yourself up. The chair's out back, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, and the driver's ready.
Sir, I was gonna drive you.
Jeez, man. Go get yourself cleaned up, and then we'll drive. And I drink some more wine, and I wait drinking wine.
All right. So you drink more wine, and the servant goes. It takes him a good 20 minutes to climb. The knocking has actually slowed down, so it's not like as frequent anymore, but it's still like there every now and then. And eventually, after 20 minutes, the servant comes back in fresh clothes. Goes, all right, sir, I'm ready to take you to the castle. That's where we're going today, right?
Yes, I believe so. I don't know. Let me do roll knowledge local or knowledge read or whatever to make sure I understood the paper right because I'm drunk.
Knowledge
I'll do
read.
-2. Yeah, here we go. Damn.
All right. So
Wow.
There-
That one already.
there's still there's no way you could actually not notice information. So I'm gonna say because as an Oaken Chair, there's only one place the Oaken Chair meeting can be.
Fair enough. All right.
Right.
So yeah, so I'm like, oh yeah, take me.
Yes, sir. So he leads the way to the back. Assume you follow.
I follow.
And there, out back is your gallant carriage. It has the symbol of an olive branch piercing through her heart painted on the side of it. There's two dark brown horses. You know, none of those white horses, none of that prissy stuff. And servant hops on to the driver's seat. All right, sir, I'm ready to go if you are.
Yep. So I get in the carriage, and as soon as I'm ready, I tell him, I knock on the front, tell him to go, and then I try to go to sleep for the journey, or the length of the journey.
All right. He turns to the back. So before you go to sleep, though, he opens up the driver's driver hole, and he asks, so real quick, sir, you want me to avoid the front, right?
Yes. Avoid the front.
Absolutely.
Take the scenic route.
Absolutely, sir.
I can take a nap this way.
Absolutely, sir. All right. Well, that's actually really interesting. I did not. Okay, so he goes ahead and drives you off, and that's really interesting. I actually did not expect that to be the way that this is how this went, but that's totally fine. So you take the scenic route to avoid the crowd of angry people and whoever was knocking at your door. All right.
I'm not sure how you didn't think that's how that was going to play out.
Already destroying expectations, apparently.
It's totally fine.
It's a player's job.
It's actually great. It's completely believable. It's honestly, in hindsight, now that it's already happened, I'm like, you know what? Why wouldn't everyone just do that? All right, Wendy, are you ready by any chance?
Sure.
I mean, if you need a moment, we can do someone else first. I did have you written as the next person we'd skip to, but
I'm legit just prepping spells.
okay.
But I guess I'm ready.
All right. Well, this is
I
just
guess I could get onto
You
the
probably don't need them right now. So.
yeah. You definitely don't need them right now. You might not need them at all, for the
figured, but I feel bad.
entire campaign. Anyway, all right. So we're gonna skip to you, Maja. All right, so Major, in case you have, so I was gonna say, in case you haven't heard the campaign intro, of course not. So, the campaign intro. So it's currently winter. It's winter 2-1, which is the first day of the second month of winter. It's a general nobles meeting for Tripsick. However, you're not only a noble of Tripsick. Generally, the monarchy and nobles of other kingdoms are actually allowed to visit the general nobles meetings of Tripsick. They're super general. They just can't contribute a vote, but you're a noble of Tripsick, so you do get to contribute a vote, obviously. So you are currently in the nobles, in sort of like the nobles district of Tripoli. So the houses are pretty nice, and you are with an interesting group. So with you right now, you have King Pedon, so your husband. There are 4 generic guards whose names will not be mentioned because, they're generic guards. Yeah. And then you have a Warforged. So he's this big, taller than you. He's 8 feet tall. Looks like he's made out of like a mixture of like stone and metal, but where the joints. So where would be essentially like the joints where his arms move, it's like glowing with this bright green light. He definitely stands out. He's dressed in a lot of like sort of like desert type desert / a mixture between like a desert and a wizard. He's wearing lots of like sort of like fancier kind of like gold, old, very soft clothing that looks like it lets light pass through very easily and lets air pass through. You know him as Roxy. So if you remember, he was the Green Banner member. Fox. Exactly. Right. So, and on his shoulder is that little fox, which is actually asleep now. You also know that fox, when it's awake, is the loudest thing known to man, the most hyperactive thing known to man. And then he's pretty quiet right now, as is King Pedon, who's currently not saying anything, because currently who's talking is your mother-in-law, Queen Scully, who, since you have set foot in town, teleported in with Roxy, has done nothing but complain the entire time. Right now, she's complaining about how much she says. I'll just do it in character. Oh, this city, it smells like piss and shit. I just don't understand how you have 1 million people in the city and you can't even dedicate some of them to keeping it clean. This wouldn't fly at Vinatelli, and honestly, just the organization of these nobles meetings is just a total mess. They don't really send personal invitations out. They just send the date and they expect you to be paying attention, I guess. Such a mess, such a disaster. And honestly, and not only has she been complaining about the city, every now and then she'll complain about something you did recently. So, Wendy, do you remember that, Madra, do you remember that your wedding, those fireworks and everything that you decided that you wanted to do?
I don't remember fireworks. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the fireworks and
right.
Feeding the peasants.
Yeah. Exactly. So, and then she's also ranted about stuff like that. But that was like a little bit earlier. She was ranting something about like, it was fine that one time, but you really gotta learn how to budget better if you're gonna just like spend money on things like that. Like it's not like money just grows on trees. We don't just magically produce all these. Well, okay, we magically produce some of it, but we don't magically produce enough to feed the entire city. And she's just been complaining. She's not normally this bad, but she, in her 500 years of age, has really grown to not like this city. And you definitely know she's in a much more negative state of mind since you've walked in here. Pedon leans to your side and whispers, "I am so sorry."
I whisper, "It's okay. I mean, the city definitely has its flaws. I would be blind not to notice them."
"You're very nice." He just replies really, really awkwardly. Like, just... Yeah. He not the most, suave of replies.
Not always. But I try to be aware of faults of things, and compared to Vinatelli, the city could use some improvement.
Pedon kind of says like, "Oh,
Personal
okay."
opinion.
Yeah, Pedon kind of says, "Oh, okay. I didn't want to say anything, but I don't know. There's lots of impressive things I feel like about this city, like the aqueduct system, the university is super impressive. But yeah, sometimes this place can smell really bad."
Yeah.
Anyway, as you guys make small talk, I was gonna say smart chat, which smart. You guys are so smart. And Queen Scully continues ranting about just pointless things. Like, she rants about, like, the amount of cats on the street, like, everything. You guys round a corner, and you see a gentleman. So, Kyle Whittington, this is going to be you. And he's wearing such a weird outfit. He's wearing a black crown and an overcoat. He has a red gem necklace around his neck and a giant sword on his back. And he's just staring around, looking around, like, dumbfounded, like he might be lost or something.
Okay. Are we in like a carriage or like an open?
Oh no, you guys have.
Are we just walking?
Yeah, so Queen Scully insisted on walking because she says she needs the exercise at her age.
Okay.
Right.
So, I guess I go up to the dude, Mr. Overcoat, and I'm like, "Sir, are you lost?
Yeah.
Where are you trying to go?"
The castle, I think.
You think?
That one, the castle. That's where I'm going.
Okay. What are you going there for?
There's
If I can ask.
There's some kind of meeting of things, like Oaken Chair type. I don't know. I'm
Meeting.
yeah, that thing right there. Yeah, that thing.
Well, we're going. You could walk with us if you like. I certainly know the way to the castle.
One of the guards leans forward and says, "Queen, I don't mean to be rude, but before we walk with a stranger, could we at least inquire who he is?
Certainly.
For your own safety. Who are you, sir?"
My name is Boar.
Boar.
That's it. Yeah, Boar. That's my name.
Where are you from, Boar?
I am from a town called Byton in Militilion, but really I just don't really stay anywhere. I just like to go around places.
Why would a common adventurer be attending you have to be a noble to attend a noble's meeting?
Common. I'm sorry. Common?
You're from Byton.
That don't mean anything. I have done plenty of adventuring to get a very noble name and house in Byton. Thank you very much.
He just seems kind of like, he starts stuttering. He's like, "Wait, so there's nobles in Byton?"
Yes. Although most of us don't really care for the politics of other places. But some of us would kind of like to have more of a say in what goes on in the world than just adventuring and all that other stuff.
The guard, out of character, groans at his failed knowledge local roll. but he said so he soothes back from his like sort of angry demeanor and is like, "Oh yes, sir. I apologies, my lord." And he steps back towards walking with Queen Scully. He steps back with the rest of the guards. Queen Scully then says, as my fellow queen has offered, you're welcome to join us as we walk through what you call a city to this castle.
Sure, I will join you guys.
Alrighty. Oof, man, Juan, I did not expect you to take a carriage. Now I gotta find a token for carriage. Alright, here we go. That's a carriage. Alrighty. So, I'm just gonna put it like right there. Nice and safe on the map. Everyone can see it, right? Nice.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Alright, so
I see it.
before we skip to the next people, we're gonna go ahead and fast forward a little bit because this all happened like pretty early. So, Major, Queen Scully, Keep Head On, Roxy, the guards, and now Boar. Continue walking along, and they reach an opening that comes before the castle where there's a lot of activity going on. So there's quite a few things. First off, there's a line that stretches out that's coming from the castle, right? And at the very front of the line, there seems to be some sort of like magic circle. You can roll Knowledge Arcana to know what it is, since it's already been cast. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I don't know why I thought I died.
good.
Okay, so
Getting there.
so you can roll Knowledge Arcana to figure out what it is. There's a carriage parked at the end of the line, right? Despite the fact that everyone else is on foot, and there's a driver at the front of the carriage currently tapping on the driver's window, right? He seems very weird, right? Near the line, but not quite next to it, there seems to be a jousting tournament going on, right? So there's bleachers with lots of people in them. There's next to the bleachers, there's interestingly these 3 crates that are sealed, which have a flag on top of them with the symbol of a dog. You can roll Knowledge. Okay, well, don't roll anything yet. I'll tell you guys in a second. Okay, so there's a symbol of a dog on that. Then, on top of... Then, there's 8 knights. Two of them are about to joust. Where did I write all this down? Oh my gosh, guys, I already lost my notes and we just started.
I mean, that happens.
It's gonna be the last... It's the last page I looked at. It's the most important page and it's the last page I looked at. Anyway, so... There's currently a jousting tournament going on. And there seems to be a knight wearing red armor, and on his side of the jousting fence, well, on his, it's on to the right. I know he's colored in blue, but that's because Juan changed everything. So this he's in red, and there's a red flag on which there is a bird. To the left of him, there is another flag that is pink, and so it's a pink flag with a sleeping woman on it in blue. Like it's a woman in a dress. It's not like a naked woman. Anyway, and that's in blue. And there's a knight also wearing a pink armor. This armor looks more like it's been painted pink though. There are 6 other flags behind which there are knights standing there. One of them is a blue flag of musical notes on a sea, like an ocean. Another one is a sleeping lion. Another one is a burning coin. Another one is a sparrow. Then there's another one that is thorns. And a final one that is a fractured skull. Alright, so now you guys can all roll... Well, the people who are present there and everyone else when you guys show up, you can roll Knowledge Nobility for that. As for everyone else, on the spellcraft check, the Knowledge Arcana check, if you got a 17 or higher, you know that is a Zone of Truth that's been cast at the front of the line.
Is it Knowledge Nobility?
Knowledge Nobility.
I actually have that coming.
Slick. Slick. Alright. Alrighty.
You're so knowledgeable.
It's okay. So, Boar and Maedra, you guys recognize the dog flag as being that of House Yggdrasil, one of the 8 Oaken Chairs, and that's the one on top of the crates. You recognize the musical notes on the ocean as being that of the Songs, one of the most powerful noble families in Tripoli. The Burning Coin is the Farathion, another Tier 1 noble house. The bird on a red background is actually a blue jay, which is the Aurelius's, which is another Oaken Chair noble house. And Crassus Aurelius himself is actually watching the tournament. Juan, since you're rolling, I'm assuming you're awake now?
Yeah, I'm awake.
Alright, so Lucas, you're awake, so you obviously all this. You also see Queen Maedra and all of them arrive. And then the final DC 5 one is the pink one with the sleeping woman is House Dance. Now, who got the 20? So, Lucas, you know all of the flags. So, you also know that the Sleeping Lion is House Viridi. The Sparrow is House Sparrow. What were the odds? The Thorns is House Rose. And the Skull is House Scald. Don't make fun of my names, guys, please. Some of these it took a long time to think of, I swear. Right. There's also a DC 15 knowledge architecture check here.
Architecture. Do I have that? I do.
If only I was there.
Yeah, I do have that. Okay. Oh my god, Lord have mercy.
I mean, I got you with all the knowledges. I just can't promise I'll get it.
All right, so you guys don't actually notice anything interesting. All right, so that's where you guys are all at. Aurelius is standing, sort of cheering his knight on, as suddenly both him and the knight from House Dance charge forward, and just, it's not even a contest. The knight from Aurelius's house he doesn't even sort of stick his lance out. Before the horses even collide, he just goes ahead and makes it a game. He intentionally leans back and dodges he doesn't even joust. He's just dodging the lance from the knight from House Dance. They go another round, and he just dodges again because he thinks it's funny. And then on the third round, he lifts the lance, and he chucks it at the knight from House Dance and knocks her off her horse, and she just falls. Did not look comfortable, but doesn't look like she was seriously hurt. But Aurelius, House Aurelius takes that very easily. Alright, do you guys do anything?
So we're using these icons, right?
Yes. So those icons are just to make it like clear that it's you. Eventually I'm going to replace even the important NPCs will get that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so Wendy, I didn't have an icon for Queen Scully, so she's just assumed to be like with you nearly all the time unless you're trying to avoid her. Boar, you're not... Oh, yeah, you are here. I was going to say, you're not here yet. So, you guys can kind of like... You can hop in the line, talk to Crassus, you can do whatever. If you guys are ready, if you guys have nothing you want to do, I'll move on to the next players.
Alright, so... I get out of my... I get out of the carriage, and I already opened the second bottle of wine, and I signal to one of the knights with one of the horses. As if, like, come here, both of you.
Well, do you mean the ones that just fought, or the ones that are watching, waiting their
these ones
turn?
right here, up north.
Oh, okay. So, one of them comes by, it's actually the... Actually, you know what? I'll roll which one comes by. 2, 3, 4. Alright, so the one from House Rose actually comes up to you. Ooh. He seems to be like a young man, curly, blonde hair. Doesn't seem too, like, whatever. Yes, my lord. House, Aurelius. Clementis. Right?
I look at him funnily, and I'm like, forget the pleasantries. How's Rose, right?
Yes, sir. I'm actually about to have my joust now, if you'd like to wish me luck.
No, rather, I had a better idea. Let me borrow your horse.
Why, sir?
I would like to give it a go.
But, sir, we are. This is just an opening act. We are humble. We are not even like that impressive of the knights of our house. We're gonna get like you're gonna stomp any of us. You're the dragon slayer.
Oh, please, come on. You see here, I got this wine. There's your handicap. Let's go. Let me borrow the horse.
This is so mean.
So my turn is about. Are you saying you will fight for House Rose against Farathion in this next round, or are you just gonna completely take my spot in the tournament?
No, I'll just do this round. It's a guest appearance. You can do your bout next. Just put someone against me or something. Let's have fun.
Oh my gosh, guys, this is so like out of character. This is so amazing. This is just if you saw my notes, you would. This is so ridiculous. Like the timing on this.
Or here's him talking and says, "Sure, I will take you on."
Ooh, okay. Oh, so the knight from House Rose kind of like looks down and he's like, oh, okay. So, by the way, guys, so I forgot to mention this. I meant to mention it at the start. So for sense motives, I actually pre-rolled sense motives for all of you guys. The reason is because to keep player knowledge and character knowledge separate, I decided sense motives will be like privately rolled if that's okay.
I mean, that's more reasonable anyway.
Okay. Lucas.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, Lucas.
I have games that I run sometimes.
Lucas, you can tell that the knight seems a little bit down about something after you said something, but it's not like he's not like depressed, but he seems a little bit down. But he says, "All right, sir, I'll get you my horse." And he goes and he nods to Sir Bor, "And I'll get you a horse as well, sir. My lords."
And I look at him.
Thank you.
I look at him real quickly, and I say, "No, I don't want your horse. Just go get me another horse."
But, sir, I completely trust you with my horse. You're the Dragon Slayer.
Oh, yeah. I guess if you say so, sure.
So he goes and he gets his horse, and he you see him talking to the knight from House Song for a little bit. The knight from House Song looks kind of like curiously at you guys, and then just kind of like shrugs. And he brings over his horse as well. The man from House Rose then comes to both of you with the horses. Would you prefer either of these two horses, or do you two not care?
Well, I guess I'll do a spot check on what they are.
Ooh,
Handle animal, actually.
Or handle animal.
I got this.
I don't have it.
Hold
I
on.
can't do it. Feels bad, man.
I got this. Oh, I don't have it either. I can't do it.
Oh man! So you guys cannot tell which horse is the better horse.
Yeah, I just pick one. I picked the one closest to me.
Okay. All right. So the knight from House Rose gives you his horse. Bor, you get the other horse. And the crowd sees you guys showing up. And at first, some of them are pretty excited because they see an Oaken Chair is hopping on. Crassus Aurelius, who's watching, shouts, "It's like, I know that guy! Let's go, Lucas! Kick whoever that other guy's ass is!" And go ahead.
I turn to Crassus, and I shout back, "Yeah, I got this guy, dude. Watch this, man."
Yeah. Crassus walks over to some women in the bleachers then, and then like leans over and is like, "I know that guy. But I bet you'd like to know me."
Oh, crap.
One of the women is... So there's two women. One of them is kind of tolerating him. The other one did not enjoy the pickup line. Bor...
I was going to say, Bor, as he walks over, looks at that area and winks at the one that doesn't enjoy the pickup line.
She got... Alright, roll a charisma check, actually.
Charisma?
Yeah,
That's what I
charisma
figured.
check. Wow. Man, she doesn't even like just give you a small wave. She gives you like a... She puts like one arm like across her chest, but then like her elbow on top of that arm, puts her hand up to her face, and gives you like a smile, like looking at you. You know what that smile's about. Anyway. Alright guys, so this is how exactly the jousting's gonna work. So essentially you both have to make a ride check to ride.
Oh,
Then
God.
you essentially are both riding forward. You both make an attack roll against each other's AC with a -4 penalty if you're trying to be non-lethal. If you're trying to be lethal, you're whatever. And if you hit, the other person has to make a ride check to stay on the horse.
Okay.
Okay, so ride to start.
Wait. Yes, hold on. We're so very opposite ends. I look at Bor. Well, I don't know his name. I look at the guy, and I'm like, how hard are we going?
I wasn't gonna try and hurt you. Besides, I'm not really wearing that big of armor right now, so like, you can hurt me, but please don't kill me.
Okay.
These reasonable requests.
All right. I'm like, I shrug. I shrug at his answer.
Queen
All right.
Queen Scully actually lightens up at this, by the way, and she leans to you and she's like, "This is a kind of fun, I expect it at Vinatelli, and I'm glad we're actually seeing this in Tripoli. Man, maybe they've progressed some in the past century."
Lucas can
Okay.
certainly lighten any day.
Yes, I remember him. He's an interesting character. All right, so both of you are able to ride, like, forward, but, Bor, you've got less of a stable footing.
Sounds good. And then
Alright.
so attack.
Yeah, so it's just a normal... Yeah, it's just a normal attack roll, but -4 if you're trying to do non-lethal. You can attack lethally. I don't actually care. If you guys kill each other
Yeah.
first session...
I'm gonna do non-lethal.
Yeah, it's the same. My attack's really high
Wait, one
anyway.
minute.
So.
Okay.
You guys just aren't brave enough.
Okay. But you didn't pass. You didn't pass my AC, dude.
Dang it!
Did he pass yours, though?
Yeah, he passed mine. My leather armor isn't that much, and I didn't cast any spells, so.
Alright, so Lucas, roll damage, and then Bor, you roll another ride check.
Okay.
By the way, guys, I'm sure these aren't actual jousting rules, but I figure it's fair enough.
Yeah.
It's fun. That's all.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, shit.
No.
Oh my gosh. Never mind. We don't even need the actual... That definitely failed. Anyway, so
I'm off.
you guys charge forward. Lucas, you're using your greatsword, right?
Yeah. I'm using my great. No, yeah, I'm using my great sword. Yeah.
So you guys both charge forward. Even from the get-go, you can see the difference in expertise as Bor isn't even riding his horse as well as Lucas is. Lucas seems like a natural today. And they both get close. Bor, you swing with your sword. Lucas easily dodges it, and then he just swings his sword crazily at you. Not even like with the edge, just to bludgeon you. He swings, hits you with the flat of the sword, and you're just knocked flat off the horse. You take 20 non-lethal damage, and you just land right in the mud. You're a filthy mess now. Just disgusting. All right,
So,
and with that, we're gonna... Oh, never mind. Okay, go ahead, and then we'll swap scenes. Go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand up, kind of shake it off, and then touch my body and cast Prestidigitation and clean myself off.
Ah, awesome. And everyone, spellcraft, DC 10 identifies that he casts Prestidigitation because it's a level 0.
I don't have that trained. Shit, I need to get that.
I mean, it's all right as long as you have a wizard in the party, right?
It's my favorite.
Don't you have
it's my
knowledge
favorite spell.
devotion?
My favorite.
It's a spellcraft, Kyle, not a knowledge.
Oh,
Well,
sorry, I just misheard.
Yeah.
I go in.
Spellcraft is for when spells are actually being cast.
I go do some sportsmanship to the unknown character
Same.
who fell on the ground, and I'm like, you did pretty good. A little shaky there, but
Yeah.
fine. What's your name?
Thank you. My name is Bor. I appreciate the pleasantries. I'm really not good with horses, so hopefully I can do better if we have some kind of hand-to-hand type thing. But it was enjoyable, and thankfully the mud didn't stay on. Again, my name is Bor. What's yours?
My name is Lucas. I'm one of the Oaken Chairs. What are you doing here in the castle?
Nice to meet you. I'm actually going to the meeting for Oaken Chairs. I'm a noble from Byton.
Ah, I see. For the position.
Yeah, hopefully, but we'll see.
Oh, great. So how about this? You come with me, and you tell me about yourself. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, and with that, we're gonna cut to another scene real quick. All right, let's do Shao next because that's what I wrote on my notes. So Shao, you're next. Shao, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Sorry.
Awesome. All right, Shao. So yours is very short because you unfortunately do not get to join in the festivities because you are not a noble. You are a pirate, the king of the pirates. But that's not the point. Anyway, you are in a room. It's a very small room, but you've recently been actually living a pretty solid life. You've been here for the past few days because of the information that you have, which you're going to share when the Nobles meeting actually happens. And You're in a small room that you know is a side room to the throne room itself where the Oaken Chair meeting is happening. The past few days you've been living very well. You've been staying at the castle. I mean, unless you're not as a prisoner or anything. If you wanted to leave, you could just leave at any point and come back whenever you want. Eland has been treating you as a personal guest. He's had servants with you, like, in the morning, at night, whenever, asking you, like, whatever you want, you know, as long as it's not illegal, we'll get some of it for you. But you're currently in a small room. Inside is Prince Eland, right, who is wearing... so Prince Eland, he's sort of like... he's pretty plain, kind of a skinnier looking guy. He's not very fit compared to his father, who's like a war hero and stuff like that. Prince Eland doesn't really combat type. He's got short black hair, is wearing a small princely crown. He's got a cloak, a white cloak on him, on which there's sewn on many different colors of other fabrics, like small strips of them kind of stick out. So he's in the room, and also in the room is the best way to describe him is the opposite of Eland. It looks like a warlord. It's just a guy in complete heavy black plate. He's wearing a helmet that's all spiky. He looks like Sauron, honestly, right? He's standing right behind Eland the entire time, you know, making those passive intimidate checks. And Eland is just kind of like looking at you. He's like, well, today's the big day, Jan.
Right. So, when is this thing gonna get started?
So, I think it'll be ready, well, hopefully in another hour. They're doing... A lot of the Oaken Chairs are being slow to get in right now because they're doing some tournament. Like, some are watching... Apparently, most of the Oaken Chairs are already in, but I hear Crassus is still outside watching tournament. He put money on his own night, of course. And you know him, he's got to hit on at least 3 women before breakfast.
Vinyon shrugs, like, actually, I don't. You know, pirates don't really get around this part very much. Let's just say your city guards don't take kindly to us, usually.
This is true. And I will say this, Jan, if it wasn't for the fact that you have important information, I wouldn't take kindly to you either.
The feeling is mutual.
Absolutely, the feeling is mutual. Today we're friends. Tomorrow, who knows? But at least today we're friends.
Maybe I'll put an arrow in your throat.
Oof. Maybe. Maybe you will.
Maybe put one in mine. Who knows?
He kind of leans forward. Sir, are you threatening the prince in the castle? Sense motive, you can tell he's joking. No, intimidate wouldn't be right. So I guess I'll just casually say he just leans back, you know, eats like a snack or something, and goes, "I'm a pirate. What am I supposed to do?" That you are. So, I have a question for you, Jan, pirate. What do you want? You've been here at the castle for a few days. You haven't left. You haven't fled. You've agreed to stay till the Oaken Chair meeting to share some information. I don't quite understand. I've been very busy, so I haven't talked to you the past few days, but what is it exactly do you want? Money? Land? Magic items? Just general power?
Let's say, first of all, I want 2 ships and crew, and I'm gonna take my ships to as far south that I can and burn and pillage everything I see. Let's just say it's personal.
They burn my ships too, you know.
I'm well aware. What you do with that is up to you.
Well, Jan, it looks like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and I can't wait to hear more about this in the meeting.
That you are.
All right, so we're gonna skip. We're gonna move from you in a moment, Shao. All right.
Oh, wait, sorry. Before that, question: do I have any of my crew here with me? Like, not like in the room, but like in the city, or like stashed somewhere else or whatever.
Yeah, there's been a few of them who've been kind of like hanging around at bars and stuff, paying inns.
Alright,
It's actually so the trip south has been a horribly unprofitable mission for you. So even they don't have a lot of money at this point. So the only reason they actually have money is because Eland has actually been funding their debauchery.
Okay.
Yeah, not as long as they promise to not break the law. He's been funding whatever. Now
Well,
you know,
just that I'm putting the thumb on them a bit
right?
these days.
You know though that some of them haven't followed that rule, but as far as you know, none of them have been caught yet.
Yeah.
All right. In the meantime, people who are at the tournament, we're not going back to you guys, but I'm just going to say something that you guys saw. So the tournament's continued, and you've seen House Sparrow defeat House Scald in the tournament. House Rose surprisingly beat House Farathion. And now we're going to finally get to the last two players of the day. So we're starting with Kyle, the Liming. You're still there, right? You haven't left us?
I am indeed.
Awesome. All right, so Kyle, your situation is very interesting. 9 out of 10 doctors hate this situation.
Okay.
It's metastatic cancer.
Oh no. At least I'm undead, so I'm immune.
What? No, dude, cancer lives past undeadness. It actually is even stronger when undead, because cancer can grow in necrotic tissue much better than normal human cells can. Anyway, so you are currently being escorted through the nobles meeting. You are with 6 paladins, right? Like the city's official paladins, not like the class paladin, right? So the ones that work under the Church of the Divine One.
Yep.
One of them, you know, he's a second in command of the paladins. His name is Yanul.
Okay.
And he was the one that you first met at the gate, and he's been talking to you earlier in your time. Natrani actually, so we talked about this like before, as like starting this campaign. Natrani has visited you and said that he gets you entry to the city, and and Yanul is escorting you. According to Yanul, he said that he's escorting you at the request of Vensilva Natrani himself, the second Oaken Chair, right? The great and powerful wizard. Two of the paladins have the unfortunate job of wheeling a large wheelbarrow, which has a big hourglass on it, in which there's a bunch of sand that I think you know what it is, right?
I'm not sure which one actually.
Both.
Oh.
Yeah, they're just
okay.
they're just hanging out in there. But Vensilva assured you that the method of carrying them in the city would not entrap them. It would be easy to escape. It's just the idea was to hide you in a decorative piece.
I feel like I want this clearly magical wheelbarrow.
Anyway,
I mean, one of them weighs 40 tons.
Yeah,
so.
they're just very strong paladins.
So much sand.
They're just very strong paladins. Also, I didn't realize that. I would have said that there was more. I didn't actually look at the weight of your thing. Okay, there's way more than 2 paladins pushing the wheelbarrow. Anyway, so there's plus. Oh, you know what? Magic. Natrani's wizard did it. Anyway, so
like I said, magic wheelbarrow.
Yeah, so you guys are walking. Natrani's guiding you. You have all 3 of your companions with you, walking by you. As far as you can tell, no one has noticed anything odd about them. And let's see, you have Reginald and Elias Tor with you. All right, Reginald seems to love this place. He's like in wonder at everything. It's like, oh my gosh, that building's so big. Oh my gosh, look at that church. And it's literally been like this the entire day. It's not even like he's not been here before, but he seems to be enjoying everything. The nobles walking about, he's like, oh my gosh, wow, have you seen? Look at her dress. It's so nice. Like nobles walking about, some of the animals about, like some people are bringing out like their fancier cats, you know, instead of just there being like the lazy mongrels. He's really digging it. Elias, however, he's not grumpy, but he's not as impressed. You know, he's just kind of like looking around. Like he's looking around. He's not like complaining or anything, but he's not like excited about it. You know, he's just kind of like there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then your butler, I forgot to write down his name. What's his name?
Oh, his name is Hawk Sanderson.
All right. He's just he's walking along.
Technically, Reginald is the butler.
Yeah, he's walking along pretty happily,
Okay.
as happily as can be. Yanul's just kind of like walking around, like leading the way. He honestly is not an exciting tour guide. Every time he tries to make small talk, it comes off as very like awkward. It's like, oh yes, like so like Reginald will be like, oh man, that church is amazing, and Yanul will be like, yes, they built it at some point.
Okay.
He's like the Zuko of tour guides.
Anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. Also, I'm pretty used to this kind of behavior around me because everybody tends to get unsettled when I'm around anyway.
Yes, so actually, that's a great point. So, so you can tell that slightly more than half of the paladins feel really you can tell they're unsettled.
Which is probably a very weird thing for them.
Right. 3 of them you can't tell. Two of them, you have an untrusting feeling about, and then Yanul and another one, you feel like they seem completely comfortable in the situation. So,
well, I would totally expect that of him.
Right. Anyway, so they are leading you along, and they suddenly stop, not at the castle. The castle's still a little ways away. But they stop at what looks to be a large house with a flag on it of a white rose on a black background. You can roll knowledge and nobility for this if you want. It is House Black.
Oh, okay.
Right. So with an 18, you also know that House Black is run by Sigmund Black. They are an old and wealthy family. Supposedly dating back all the way to shortly after the end of the period of High Magic. They were line of Edward, not Latins, you know. Anyway, okay, so this is also where we're going to introduce Alex. Are you here?
Hey.
All right, Alex, you are currently inside of House of Black. So you are in what looks to be a typical breakfast house, basically. You're currently at the breakfast table with Sigmund Black himself, who you know as Zeladar. So Xeledar, right? That's his Queen of Death name.
Okay.
Right. You're also... Do you remember how I told you the thing about the table?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're in that room, and
Yeah.
sitting and walking around the room kind of like casually is a black cat. This black cat is kind of interesting because of all the Queen of Death members you've met, only him, Zeladar, and you have ever actually gone down into the secret room.
Okay.
Right. But you don't actually know anything about this cat. He's just kind of walking around doing his thing. You know? He'll sometimes...
He has a sweater.
That's true. My bad. I forgot. And he's wearing the cutest, most adorable sweater.
Aww.
I know. He's... Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa. My Roll20 just freaked out.
It should
Oopsie.
still be okay.
Okay, it looks
Oh
fine.
yeah, no, I saw it.
Well, no, I shrunk it. I shrunk it and reopened it to fix it. I don't know if it did anything on stream. Also, hello Xantoma, welcome to stream. I hope you're enjoying our nerdiness. Alright. So... Oh no, it is happening on stream. The fuck?
No, it's okay. It's back on stream now.
It's coming back around. It's
Yeah,
good.
the stream's back up. It's all good.
Okay. To me, I'm looking at the XSplit and it looks like there's a bunch of black blocks on the screen.
It keeps going up and back. Like, it's switching back and forth. There's a delay also.
It is because you currently don't have it set in your... Like, make sure your mouse is clicked into the browser.
Are you sure?
It should be what's causing it.
Oh, hold on. Oh no, my page. It's just the page crashed.
Oh yeah, then just give it a refresh if that doesn't do
Rip.
it. Close and reopen.
Yeah. Oh no, it changed the sizing of everything.
Oh god.
Everything's ruined. The scene's all ruined. We have to stop the campaign and start all over again. Nope.
Oh no.
Alright. That looks pretty good. We're gonna stick with that for now until it breaks again. Alright. Sigmund Black has been cooking breakfast all morning, and Kyle will get to you in a little bit. And he's, I don't know, Alex, if you've eaten or like, do you eat any of the food he cooks you?
Yeah, I'll eat.
All right, so he's making eggs, and he keeps,
Awesome.
and he just has there's only 3 of you in the room, including the cat, and he's made at least like a dozen eggs. He just will not stop making eggs.
Huh. I'll keep eating them.
All right, so you keep eating them, and you keep piling on them, and he keeps adding eggs, and he looks to you and he says, "What's your character's last name?"
Sullen.
Sullen. He says, Master Sullen,
Yes.
are you feeling ready to prepare to investigate for House Black this morning?"
Oh yes. Most definitely.
Yes. Very well. Zix expects to report whenever you have time, but I hear news that Crassus Aurelius will be throwing a party shortly after the nobles meeting, and so you're completely invited. So if he invites you, or actually, honestly, just stop by anyway. I think you should stop by and check it out. What is Crassus Aurelius up to? These Oaken Chairs and their schemes.
It would be problematic if you didn't invite House Black.
Absolutely. As one of the oldest houses, you always invite House Black. All right.
Okay, so I should go there.
Yes. All right, Kyle. Outside, you know, stopped at this house, which is clearly not the castle. Do you say anything?
So I say, basically just double checking. I didn't really hear any of that, right? I was like,
No. That was inside of the house.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. Just making sure that I was on the right page. So I would just say, where is this?
This is House Black. Also, all right, let me see what you.
There's a 15 on nobility if it's helpful.
All right, so you can't really. He seems to be behaving strangely, trying to think about something to say, but you can't really tell like what he's whatever. As for House Black, all you know is that it's an old noble house run by Sigmund Black.
Okay.
There's very little known about House Black. Like it's not really clear from what you know about how they make their money or anything like that. It's just
Okay.
the bookkeeping doesn't really add up. Anyway, so, then says, kind of shakes his head, is like, we're here to drop your friend off. Natrani said that he'll be safe here in the meantime while you're at the nobles meeting. I don't understand why they wouldn't allow a butler to attend.
Oh,
Well, not butler. You're Reginald.
Oh,
Yes.
my valet.
No. You're you're guy with 8 hit die.
Yeah. Well,
His-
actually,
oh.
I have a few of those.
Okay. Well, it's not the hobbits, obviously.
Right. Okay. So, are you talking about my sand friend?
No,
Or are
the
you
other
talking
one.
Okay. So my valet.
Yeah. Yes, your
my
valet.
Yes.
He's
Yes,
Reginald.
Hawk. That's Hawk.
Oh,
the
Hawk.
butler
There we
is
go.
Reginald.
Hawk.
His name is Jeeves. The butler is Jeeves.
Okay.
Like
Yes.
his name is Reginald.
There we
Jeeves,
go.
Like a famous.
All right. It's
Okay,
like
I
we're
got
here to drop Hawk off. Your friend Natrani said he'll be safe here while you're at the nobles meeting.
Okay. Do I have a sense motive rolled on this? Or
You don't know what to think.
all right. All right. Well, take care of yourself, Hawk, and we'll be back for you later.
All right.
See what you can find here.
All right. Yanul walks up the steps with Hawk, and he knocks on the door. Alex, you obviously hear the knock on the door, and Sigmund Black looks at the door immediately. Should I get it, or should you?
Oh, okay.
All right.
Get up.
Suspicious.
Open the door.
Okay, you open the door, and standing right outside the door is a paladin, and not just any paladin. Well, okay, you have to roll knowledge local.
I definitely don't have that.
Okay, you don't recognize him as an important paladin. Actually, you don't even recognize him necessarily as a paladin. He's in shining armor. He's very shiny armor with the symbol of the... Do you have knowledge religion?
Yes, I do have that.
Alright.
Plus 17.
Oh my gosh. Okay, never mind. You know that he's a paladin of the Church of the Divine One. And standing behind him is what looks to be a very fancy valet. You can roll a spot check now, by the way, if you want, with a -2.
20, but -2, so... I don't think I spotted it.
Okay, you didn't spot whatever you may need to have spotted. Alright. So, you open the door, you see the scene, and before anything happens, immediately, Sigmund flashes up one of his hands. Khalid, you can't see this because he's like, like on the side of the room, and you're like down the street, essentially.
Yeah.
Alright, he immediately flashes his hand and lights it up with, this sort of aura of blue and black. It's like, you finally come for us.
Yeah, I've also reflexively gotten vile looking at this paladin.
Oof. Looks at...
Oh, I get it.
He looks at both of you. I just mean to drop a friend off from Natrani. Did he not tell you? Oof. You think he's being honest.
I see. And you didn't send any sort of missive?
I'm the missive. I'm the paladin, I think.
This is a sudden request, but not necessarily unwelcome.
Sigmund kind of looks at you and he looks at the cat, and then he looks at you again, and he looks at the paladin.
So, this friend,
Yes.
he needs to be dropped off here?
He leans into you, and Khalid, you can roll listen check if you want to try to listen in. He leans into you,
That's
and
gonna fail. There's no point.
okay, and he whispers. He's like, let's just say, and I'm keeping this quiet because the other paladins don't know, that this gentleman behind me is not exactly in good health.
Ah, I see. Well, in that case, I kind of look at Sigmund because it's his house. I'm the guest here. I think.
Sigmund says, okay, he can stay. But you, Lady Sullen, I believe it's time for the Oaken meeting, so I think you should head out.
I should.
And me, and he looks down at the cat again. We're gonna have a chat with one of our best clients. You know that for code as he's gonna meet with the person that you know about.
Okay.
Yeah, that no one else knows about.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright.
I just kind of walk past the paladin out the door.
All right, and you see the weird sight of there being like several paladins, a guy covered in bandages with like a symbol, like an ankh on his chest, and like a giant hourglass filled with sand on a wheelbarrow.
Like the hourglass would probably be at least 15 feet tall.
Yeah, it is a huge hourglass. You know, kind of turns like we are also escorting Sir Lord Romani to the nobles meeting, which you can roll knowledge history actually for this guy.
I wouldn't know that unless it's common knowledge.
Oof, then never mind. It is definitely not. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you like, we can escort you the rest of the way. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch your name. You're representing House Black today, I assume. So, Mrs. Black.
Yes, that is perhaps the best way to address me. Lady Black, more appropriate.
Very well, Lady Black. This is, I'm sorry, Lord Romani. He is coming back from a place.
I have been away in the far west for quite some time, and have only just recently returned to my estate.
Ah, is your estate here?
It is, in fact. My family holds a position of some small nobility within the city. You probably haven't heard of me because I happen to be the only one still alive.
I see. Well, I am certain that House Black understands House Romani quite well.
Maybe. I'm sure that we will. That we will come to know each other better in time.
Very well, Yunul says. Shall we leave to that meeting?
Of course.
We should make haste.
Very well, we'll escort you the rest of the way. All right. So the paladins lead you along, dragging the giant hourglass of pain in the ass. All
I'm
the
really
way.
Surprised they brought them.
They weren't gonna just make you ditch your stuff, dude. That'd be rude. You don't even have a place to stay. You've been living outside the city for like days. All right,
Yeah.
and they take you to the same tournament scene that we saw before with Lucas, Boar, Madra. So, Madra, Lucas, Boar, and stuff. Just to update you on the tournament, House Song crushed House Sparrow. It wasn't even close. And House Aurelius, as you guys are showing up, is just now beating just now dismounted House Farafion's knight, leaving just, as you know, it is a simple single elimination bracket. I know, the nerve of this day and age. It is House Aurelius will be facing off against House Song in the end of the bracket. You can roll, so I'll describe all the flags again after you identify them, but you guys can roll knowledge nobility to identify all the houses there present again, if you want. And there's also a knowledge architecture check.
Oh, okay.
All right.
That was my nobility first.
All right. While they're rolling, Lucas, Boar, and Major, did you guys like hop in line, or are you just kind of hanging out first?
Just kind of hanging out.
All right. The Queen's having a jolly good time.
We're watching the tournament.
Lucas and Boar, do you guys just kind of hang out, or?
Is there a fighting pit?
There is currently no fighting pit yet.
Then I am sitting in the bleachers and watching the things, preferably close to
the girl.
Yeah, well, no, close to the people that I actually haven't met so far.
Okay.
So like close to Major and close to Lucas.
All right, and Lucas, what are you doing?
I guess I go ahead to the line,
All right.
and I'm like, and I shout back behind me, "Good luck." Crassus, and I kind of wait impatiently for the line to hurry up so I can get in.
All right. So you're waiting in line. Crassus comes up to you real quick, right? And he says, he looks like confused. He's like, "Where's Trinida? You know, my cousin. You know, the blonde one. Well, my only female cousin."
And I look at him, and I scratch my beard, and I'm like, I have no idea.
Huh.
Did she not say anything to you?
Well, no. I sent her this morning to go get you at your house, and I don't know. I guess did she just not show up? That was very rude. She nearly always follows any order I give her.
Oh
Oof.
shit! Did I stood her up?
Well,
Dang.
I asked her to come escort you to the tournament because I know that there's like a bunch of assholes in front of your house all the time now. You know.
Oh man, she's gonna kill me later.
Oof.
Feels bad.
What did you do?
I kind of took the back exit and the scenic route.
Oh my gosh, you dog, you.
Yeah, I didn't expect for her to come pick me up.
Oh my
You
gosh.
should probably tell me beforehand next time.
Oh my gosh, dude, but then it ruins the surprise. Oh, by the way, you know those protesters? I've been trying to even it out. He leans in to whisper to you, I've actually been, you know, like some of those protesters are like paid by other nobles, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You know those the ladies that have those signs that are all like, Lucas, I want your kid? Some of them I paid.
Oh, dude, thanks, man. You're such a bro.
Always. Oh, by the way, do you have a bottle of wine? I know you got a bottle of wine. Hand me a bottle of wine real quick.
Yeah, here you go.
All right.
Give him a bottle of wine.
And he just immediately scurries off to the stands. Like, it was just like instant.
I just laugh.
All right.
And as I wait in line, I guess I watched the tournament as well.
All right. So now catching up. So Khaled, you saw basically all that stuff going on. Your knowledge which one was your knowledge nobility?
The
to
first one, the 15 was the knowledge ability, and the 14
Okay.
was the architecture.
Awesome. So with knowledge nobility, you recognize that on the crates is a symbol of the dog. The notes on the sea is the songs. The sleeping lion in front of a tree is Viridi. The burning coin is Farathion. The sparrow is House Sparrow. The blue jay is Aurelius, which you also recognize that Crassus Aurelius himself is here, and he's walking over to Queen Maedra and Scully, who you also recognize them. House Rose is the Thorns. House Scald is the Fractured Skull. House Dance is the Sleeping Woman. And you don't recognize anything important about architecture here. Seems A-okay. Alright. Crassus moves up to Maedra and sort of bumps into her. Maedra, long time no see. And whatever. Everyone who wants to do anything before you hop in line, or if you want to just stick it out to the tournament, that's fine.
Major Sister Crassus, it's been too long. It's good to see you.
Khaled?
I guess talks begin.
Yeah. How violent is the jousting? Are they killing, or is it real?
So there's technically no rule against it, but no one has killed anyone yet. Alright.
In that case, I'm not that interested.
Alright. Crassus, before Boar leaves, he leans over and says, "Wait, Boar, real quick. I bet you 100 gold my knight wins."
I don't have any idea of the. I guess I observe both of the knights that are.
You can sense motive for strength, by the way.
Yeah, I will sense motive on both of the knights.
Alright, this one you roll, though, because I'm saving all the pre-rolls for when you actually sense motive.
Okay, sounds good. It's not gonna be
17. You
Yeah.
think that Knight Song is stronger than Knight Aurelius. He looks much more confident.
okay. I will take him up on his 100 gold wager.
Alright. So the two of them...
And then I don't. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't get mine. I said watch.
All right, so everyone else, the line's moving forward. The two of you watch, and you end up being completely right. Night Song and Aurelius, they dash each other, and before Aurelius even has his lance in the right position, Night Song has already just smashed him off his horse. It wasn't even close. He made him look like a complete amateur, right? And then Crassus says, "Well, oh well, you win." And he hands you 100 gold. He hands you 100 gold. Then he turns to the lady next to him and says, "Alrighty then." And she hands him a pouch of gold.
Boar definitely chuckles at this and says, "Good doing business with you. I hope we have more conversations." And then heads off to the line.
Alrighty, Lucas, you're in the front of the line. There's some generic guy looking at like magic. He has like a list that he's flipping through, right? There's a zone of truth. There is. Man. There is one gentleman with dark black hair in front of you, and then there's another one there's a girl. Well, so there's a guy with black hair and a little bit slightly darker skin, and a girl with him that has like light brown hair. You can roll knowledge nobility to recognize all of them as well if you want. Actually, everyone can if you want.
Wait, what are we rolling again? Sorry, I can't find out.
Knowledge nobility there's two gentlemen with black hair. One of them has a little bit darker skin, and the other one has. And then there's a girl with light brown hair.
I had a nice 25 there.
Oof.
15.
All right. Okay.
22.
Oh my lord!
Oof.
Why did I roll
Oof.
two of them?
Okay, so Lucas.
And they were
So,
both
You still did terribly.
so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it in order of information. Lucas, you do not recognize any of them.
This is the alcohol.
Blame it on the alcohol. All right, Major, you recognize the first gentleman as Fugus Crow. He's from House Crow, and they are one of many houses sworn to sort of serve to they're considered houses bannermen of House Renault, one of the Oaken Chairs. Khalid and they have a nickname, by the way. They're nicknamed the Cucks of Renault, by the way. Khalid and Boar, you guys actually know why they're called that. So the history of the Crows is that they were originally. So this happens about 300 years ago. About 300 years ago, Tripsick was smaller, right? With only the western half being Tripsick and the sort of easternish area being sort of a wilder area that belonged to a group of people called the Northeasterners. About 300 years ago, three noble houses. So the Northeasterners and Tripsick were already in war, but three noble houses took a preemptive attack against House Renault, which is an old noble house of Tripsick, and House Renault struck back, destroyed essentially killed all the male heirs of the houses, took all their women. They killed all the male heirs except for the youngest one and the furthest away from the hereditary line. They took all the women, and then the head of House Renault at the time, renamed all of the kids. One was called Crow, the other one's Sparrow, and the other one Hawk. And then he put them back as the rulers of their house after raising them.
So he's a huge dick.
Right.
Or his ancestor was.
Yeah, they're specific. So they're furthermore called they're teased as being the Cucks of Renault because of the fact that House Renault will very often. It's rumored but not proven that House Renault will still take women from House Sparrow to this day, because Sparrow was the head of those the lead of those three houses. So House Sparrow is called the Sluts of Renault. The other two houses, though, will often marry House Sparrow members, and so they're called the Cucks of Renault because they're marrying, the women that Renaults supposedly already take. It's like a derogatory term for them, essentially.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, but but despite this, all three houses have actually become pretty powerful by serving House Renault because it's an Oaken Chair. Only Kyle recognizes the two at the very front as being from House Viridi. Like, they're both, he loosely recognizes them, but he doesn't quite know who they are. They walk up to the Zone of Truth. The first night, the guy with the sheet starts flipping. He just kind of looks at them and is like, alright, you're House Viridi, just go ahead and walk in. And they just, walk in. Fugus Crow walks forward, and the knight looks at them. He's like, who are you? And the guy replies, I am Fugus Crow. He's like, alright. And he starts asking him a bunch of questions, like, alright, well, who's your father? Alright, what are you here for? Etc. What is, a derogatory term for your house, right? And after Fugus Crow replies all of them, the knight looks and says, alright, you can go ahead. Alright, Lucas, you're next in line.
Oh, yeah. So I step into the Zone of Truth.
Alright, it's a will save to resist being forced to tell the truth.
Oh, baby. Here we go. Oh, Lord.
Oof, alright, you succeeded, easily. The knight looks at you, he's like, who are you?
Cthulhu! Destroyer of worlds!
Cthulhu's not on this list. I'm afraid you can't come into the General Nobles meeting.
No, I kid. Come on. It's me! You know.
Hold on, let me roll.
Dragon Slayer.
Hold on, I gotta roll his knowledge and nobility. Listen, Lucas. Sir, my lord. You have to understand, there's a formality to these proceedings. You need to say your name.
Wait, what was it again? Wait, I can never remember my cognomen sometimes. Oh yeah, Lucas Clementus Amator.
Okay. Second question. What is a common nickname that's used for you? In a positive sense. In a positive set. That's the wrong answer. Come on! You're slowing down the line. I've been here since 7 in the morning.
I guess I'm like a murderer or something.
No, the positive nickname.
Giant Slayer?
Yes. The negative one is that you're just a murderer.
Oh, yeah. Well, you should have been more specific about the nickname issue.
I said positive. I
Oh,
swear I said.
I didn't hear you because I was too enthused to being Cthulhu.
He turns to the other knight. It's like, this job is horrible. How do I know you're actually Lucas? You're actually Lucas Clementus Amator, and you're not just someone disguised as him.
I open up my baggage and show him the bottles of wine that I have.
Those could be illusions. Can I touch them?
Yeah, sure. Here you go. I give him one.
All right. If you were Lucas, how come you have so many left?
Wait, what do you mean? I started with 10 and I'm already down to 6.
Never mind. He checks out. He's good to go. he hands you back the bottle of wine.
So back to 7 and I proceed forward.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And, Lucas, if you would just walk completely straight. I'm sure you know, but it's just our orders to tell you. If you will just walk completely straight past the statues of the second-borns and straight into the throne room, your Oaken Chair spot will be available to you. Already ready. Most of the Oaken Chairs are already there.
Oh, great. Woohoo. Then I go forward.
Alright. Alright, so next comes, Miss Black.
Yeah. I step into the Zone of Truth.
Alright, as soon as you step into the zone, he says, you're Miss Black, right?
Indeed.
You can go ahead and go in.
I go in.
Alright, oh, wait, no, first, oh, wait, no. But he pauses, it. Oh, yes, but, when you walk in, after you walk past the statues, turn left, and then take the stairs up to the second floor. That's where all the nobles sit in.
I will do so.
Thank you. Alright. Kyle, I guess. The mummy Kyle. Khalid.
Yes.
Alright. Zone.
Oh yeah, sure. All
Alright.
1d.
Plus 42, I know.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, so you failed. No, I'm just kidding. So you step in the zone of truth. You resist it. He looks at you. He's like,
I just sort of yawn as I step in.
he kind of looks at you. He's like, you're really off-putting.
Yes, I get that. And then, like, as I say that, then like there's little whispers that are like behind his head, slightly like, yeah, like.
Oh my gosh, dude, what the fuck? All right, he looks shaken now a little bit. Could you?
It's not actually a mind affecting effect.
Yeah, but it's still a scary effect.
Yes, I'm just saying.
Anyway, so he's like, okay, well, I think I know who you are on this list because Natrani said to make special exception for you, but just in case, what's your name?
I am Khalid Sid Al Ramal, formerly known as the Lord Aulus Romalius Magus Alvio, a noble of this country from almost 100 years ago.
I'm so confused. I thought that house died.
It did.
So are you like a bastard? Or like from a
No.
line of bastards?
No. I was lost in the wastes out past Hollowbull over all that time ago, and I have survived until today, and I've finally returned.
I don't even know where Hollowbull is. You can go in. Natrani said so. Just, when you go in, if you will go past the statues and then to the left, and then up the flight of stairs, that's where the second floor is and where most of the nobles sit in on.
Very well.
Alright.
Good luck with the rest of your questions.
Boar. Assume you...
Yeah, I walk into the zone.
Alright. Will save.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's not as high. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you resist. The knight looks at you. Who are you?
I am Boar.
What's your last name?
I don't have one. Why does everybody always ask me this?
Alright. That's definitely... I'm pretty sure that's him. It's the only... First off, what if he was someone trying to break in, what kind of idiot would lie with I don't have a last name? How do I know you're actually Boar and not a clever idiot in an illusion?
I reach out and I touch him.
Alright. Alright, well, I don't see any magic disguises, but I guess I wouldn't be able to see them if they were really good magic disguises, but, I mean, this is about the level of safety that we were told to provide today.
Wow. Sounds
Tell me something
fantastic.
only Boar would know that we have here as a special note from you.
Something only Boar would know. Wait. If I am the only one who knows it, then how would you have it as a special note? I'm confused.
That's him, alright. Let him in. That's him, alright. Let him in. Oh, and sir, if you'll please, when you walk past the statues, turn to the left, and then up the stairs.
Left, up the stairs. Got it.
Alright.
I walk in.
Alright, finally is Maedra, who's being attended to with Queen Scully and Roxy, and I guess Crass is falling right behind you.
Hello.
Alright.
Okay.
As you walk forward, do you walk into Zone Truth?
Yeah.
Both the knights immediately, like, kneel, or whatever, like, on their left knee. Just in case you are the queen, we want to be polite. And then they get back up.
I am the queen.
What's-
Okay.
What's your name?
Major she.
What? Are you sure you're her? We have on our sheet Maedra Seedhe.
It's pronounced she.
Oh. Oh, are you northeastern descent? That's interesting. Never liked a northeasterner. Anyway, I guess not all of them are bad, but yes, my queen. Well, not my queen, but Queen Sidhe. My bad, she and Queen Scully. If you would please walk forward into the throne itself, they have provided you with thrones of your own to sit on.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Oh wait, I need to check for illusions. And Crassus suddenly bumps in and pushes you forward. Or nonsense. I don't want to wait all day. Check me next. And so the knights just kind of shrug and all right, you can go forward. Alrighty, we're finally getting into the throne room. Oh my gosh. Shao finally gets to play the game. Alright.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So you guys walk into the throne room. The people in front of you, who were in front of you, the crow guy, he walks to the right. The House of Iridi, they walk to the left. And they take their seats. Already in the throne room is the 6 Oaken Chairs, which you guys can all see the map now, right? Dope.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, there's purple thrones. So those purple thrones are the ones for you, Queen Maedra.
Okay.
And Queen Scully and Pedant go ahead and take their seat. Eland is standing at the front of the table. Shao, he had just left the room a moment ago. And behind him is that same guy in black armor. He literally looks like Sauron. Next to him is freaking what looks to be a sort of holy figure, dressed in purple and gold, and wearing a very weird-looking tall hat with a flat top that has lots of geometric designs on it. You can roll knowledge religion to try and recognize what faith.
I can make that.
Oh, yeah. I don't have none.
That number. Ooh, 37. Maximum possible.
22.
All right, so
The roll of 22s.
all of you guys recognize the person as being a member of being a Chiite. So Chiite is the religion of law, essentially. It's actually pretty common in Tripsick, but it's relatively common. There's no Chiites in Vinatelli, for example. But everyone who got above a 20, you recognize her specifically as being a high-ranking cleric of Chiite, a high priestess. So she's status-wise would be very important. Eland is sitting at the front of the table. Obviously, not sitting. He's standing actually at the front of the table, and just waiting for all the Oaken Chairs. There's King Edward. So the king, he's a very fit, strong-looking man. He's got a very thick black beard, but trimmed pretty well. He's wearing a golden crown, all red. He doesn't seem armed, sitting on a golden throne. There's a little bit of a neat knowledge history check here if you guys want to roll that. At the Oaken Chair table, there are 6 individuals already sitting. So I'm going to say in order of top left, top right, second to the left, second to the right, second to the left, second to the right. All right, so in the top left is an older, a middle-aged looking man with black hair. The second spot is a very old-looking man. Looks like he's in his 60s with white hair and white beard. So for history, Lucas, you know that there's a saying that while sitting upon the throne of Tripoli, the line of Edward is untouchable. It's a common historical saying. Callie, do you know the same thing? All right. So second chair. No, my bad. Second chair is an elf. with like long blonde hair. Kyle, you automatically know it as Natrani. Juan, you know all these people, by the way. So the first one is Danul. The second one is Natrani. The third one is an old-looking man with white hair. And then the fourth is a younger-looking man with... Very young-looking man. He's wearing, like, a chain shirt and, like, brown... Like, a brown jacket type thing over it. And he's got just boring brown hair. He's not particularly exciting-looking. The fifth spot is another middle-aged man. He's got silver hair and 3 scars on his face. He's wearing a mixture of like bronze and black armor. Right after that, there's an empty seat, actually, which is where Crassus would normally sit. And then the seventh at the bottom left corner is Lucas's spot, which he can take if he wants. If not, you can do whatever you want. Alright, so
I guess I go to my seat, and as I sit down, I take a bottle of wine out, open it, and place it on the table in front of me, and wait.
Eland looks at you and says, if you don't want to drink your own, we can provide the Oaken Chairs with wine if you prefer.
I say, don't worry about it. I got it. Thank you, though.
Wonderful. Alright, so I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. So here's the thing, guys. All the Oaken Chairs have knowledge checks. So let's do... So just because... So most of this session is getting to know all the characters, if you haven't realized that. And figuring out what you do and don't know. So let's do, if you guys don't mind, a bunch of knowledge checks. So the first is Danul. His only relevant knowledge is knowledge nobility. And what I'll do is I'll read off from like low to high and just remember like your own check and remember that you only know what you got on that check, if that makes sense. Oh, and Shao, you can roll these also because when you walk into the room, you're gonna need to like I'm not gonna make you read, just so we don't stop session twice with knowledge checks.
I don't have any knowledges on that rolling.
Awesome. All right, so starting at DC 5, Boar, you recognize him as Danul Yitir. His house symbol is the Leviathan. Everyone who made a DC 10, you know that Danul is sort of interesting as an Oaken Chair, as he has no standing military, so most Oaken Chairs have one, and he is actually not particularly wealthy. Those who made a 20 plus know... So those who made a 20 plus know that he was appointed as an Oaken Chair. So the Yitirs were a family who has served with Lion Edward for a long time despite being of northeastern origin, and they were actually appointed by an Oaken Chair by Edward II BC 1. So it'd be something like a good, like 400, 500 years ago. Anyway, so his family has stayed relevant and stayed an Oaken Chair through service to Lion essentially being like consistently servitude to them, and they have a saying which is that a Yitir pays with the heart. Sorry, I need to open up one thing real quick because this is gonna get... Alright, so that's House Yitir. Next is the elf. So you guys, so for him it's nobility and history.
Oh.
Alright, so Boar, you only recognize him as Vensilva Natrani, head of the House of Natrani and one of the 8 Oaken Chairs. 10 plus on Nobility means that you recognize him, that you know he is considered the personal wizard of the monarchy and head of the magic department at the University of Tripoli. So he's considered, if you ask your typical Tripsickian, they're going to say he's the greatest wizard in the world. Wow, 33 on history. All right, so 20 plus on history. Natrani's family, being an Oaken Chair, actually serves as a reminder of peace between elves and Tripsick. They fought several wars after the war between Latins and line of Edward, but before, so it's between like 300 to 700 years ago. They fought several wars with elves until Vensilva's grandfather, Venkaila, ended the most recent century-long war between them by allying with the line of Edward instead of elves. Alright, so that's everything for Vensilva Natrani. Next is the old man with white hair. So he is knowledge, history, and nobility. 15, 18, 19, 8. 2022. Okay, cool. 18 nobility, 8 history. Alright, well, the history is a 30, so no one got that. Oh my gosh, never mind. Alright. But no one got... Alright, so the highest on nobility is 20. So Ymir. So the old man is Ymir Yggdrasil. His house symbol is the dog, and he is considered a pretty unscandalous noble, mostly just because he kind of doesn't get that noticed. 14 in nobility. Alright, so Major got 20, though, so we keep going. Alright, so 10... he's called the Beast Master. Ymir is known to be great with animals, but Major, you specifically know that Ymir has 3 wives, 2 of which are incestuous relationships, and he actually is known for training magical beasts. He trains magical beasts, not just regular beasts. Kyle, if you're 30 on history, you know that Yggdrasil was actually the ruling northeastern family 300 years ago, before the war between Tripsick and the northeast began. And then when they lost, they got united, but House Yggdrasil managed to maintain its position, through essentially a peace treaty. Who else? Alright, so next is Renown. So that's just, yes, nobility and history again.
Oh. I rolled an extra one by accident.
It's fine.
Drop off the 22. Nobility 15, history 23.
Alright, so I'm going to start with nobility, and no one got the history. So nobility, House Renault is known as... So Marshal Renault is the current head of House Renault, whose house symbol is the Komodo dragon. He's called the Wind Lord mostly because his family is known for having, quote, fleets of Pegasi. Right, so that's the DC 20. And... well, no one got a 30s. Alright, so that's basically everything about House Renault, actually. That you guys know. Then comes the middle-aged guy with white hair. So this is knowledge history and knowledge nobility again. Actually, all the ones from here on out are knowledge history and knowledge nobility, so...
Nader has neither of those, and it's entirely a newcomer to the town, so I don't think I know any of these people, actually.
Oof. Alright. Alright, so the middle-aged guy is Slade Zvardish. He is from House Zvardish, which house symbol is the ostrich, that's DC 5. DC 10 is that he is the newest Oaken Chair, receiving his position through inheritance from the Song family, actually. DC 15, which someone got, is that he's known for having a very good military unit. He's both called the Shipmaster and the Longbowmen. So he has an elite unit of Longbowmen, and he has a pretty sizable fleet. And those tend to be his 2 expertise. For everyone who made 20 or higher, you know that not only did he receive the position of Elaine's Song after after her death, he got it because he was backed by House Renault, Yggdrasil, House Baron, which was an Oaken Chair at the time, and House Polyps, which is an Oaken Chair at the time. So they all backed him, and essentially what was a debatable situation between him or someone else from House Song receiving the wealth that he has today, he ended up winning because of his connections.
Sorry, so you said Renault, Yggdrasil, Polyps, and who?
And Baron.
Thanks.
All right. Then the final one is we're gonna skip knowledge checks for Lucas because I didn't write any. Sorry, dude. Plus, you're a player, so I think it's fair. All right, I don't feel all right, but Crassus Aurelius. So this is actually it's just knowledge nobility. There's no other knowledge here.
Oh.
You should get like special training for 7th round.
All right, Crassus Aurelius, also whose house symbol is the blue jay, despite his flag being white and red. He is the second newest Oaken Chair, so he's so both him and Slade are both new, quote, new Oaken Chairs.
This is not counting Lucas, right?
Yeah, that's true, not counting Lucas. Lucas is the newest. Anyway, so Crassus is... So DC 5 is he's Aurelius Blue Jay. DC 10 is that he's the second newest Oaken Chair, not counting Lucas. He is wealth made, a known womanizer, and a known partier. He throws extravagant parties. So DC 15 plus means that you know that he leads the Ring Knights. Ring Knights wear a special red plate mail, and they're arguably considered the best knights in the kingdom. DC 20 you know that Crassus has only a single son. And then that's it for knowledge checks for Crassus. Alright. We're all good on the knowledge checks. Hope you learned something.
Indeed.
Alrighty, so everyone's
How do you
sitting...
spell those knights, dude? Hold on.
It's like R-Y-I-I-N-G.
R-Y-I-I-N-G. Okay.
Raying. I'm pretty sure it's Latin for something.
Why? Let me see this here. Okay.
Alright. So all the nobles begin to get settled. You guys all chose your positions, I guess. Eland sort of looks around the room. Alright. Now all the Oaken Chairs are here. Thank you, Crassus and Lucas, for joining us. I know it was very early in the morning for you two, usually.
Hi, Snicker.
And I'm sure a lot of you already have a general idea of what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about we're going to be talking about the current empty Oaken Chair spot today, maybe. We're going to be talking about, he looks to Maedra, about the current new queen of Vinatelli. And, more importantly, we're going to be talking about something else. But before I bring into something else, I want to remind everyone about how the rules go here. In the name of my father, this is how they work. When the king is speaking, none interrupts. When an Oaken Chair is speaking, no lesser noble interrupts. For anyone to speak, they raise their hand, and then they may begin speaking the moment that it's clear no one else of higher rank above them is speaking. We have guests here today. We have the monarchy of Vinatelli, and we are thankful for them arriving. Now, I know this isn't a popular thought with some of the Oaken Chairs, but we will be considering the ranking of the Vinatelli monarchy above that of the Oaken Chairs of Tripoli today. Meaning that if they are speaking, no Oaken Chair may interrupt.
I pour myself a drink at that statement.
Alright, let's see. Boar, actually, you're the only one that notices. At that mention, Renault, Yggdrasil, and Slade all seem annoyed. Boar?
Yeah, noted. Noted. I just didn't have anything to say.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. All right.
Yeah, noted.
Cool. So they're all annoyed. So they're annoyed, but they managed to hide it pretty well. But you caught them, even from across the room and everything. All right. Now, for the next thing, which I think is more interesting, and I think is more important than the Oaken Chair for now, which at that point, all of you guys can tell that multiple nobles in the room are not happy with that announcement.
I pour myself another drink.
At saying the Oaken Chair position isn't important. I'd like to have a guest come forth, or someone who has been a very important person in the past few months that no one else has known that this important thing was even happening. And Shao, at that cue, the door to your room slowly slides open as if by magic, woo, and you can see into the throne room.
I'm sorry. Did I hear them?
Yeah, you
didn't hear that announcement. I did. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like he gave you a cue to walk in.
Right. So I kind of shrug, and by the way, I can't control my character.
Oh, I'll fix it.
Renyoung shrugs and walks into the room, and I mean, does anybody recognize who I am?
So you would be knowledge local, actually.
The Oaken Chairs recognize who I am?
I mean, we can, yeah.
If they can make the knowledge check.
Okay.
Oh god.
Wait, would that be local? Since I'm not exactly a local person.
Yes, because you're famous for Tripsick. It's local to Tripsick.
Right,
It's
okay.
well, what else would it be? It can arguably be nobility because it's famous person status. It's not history because it's not something that happened a long time ago that you're known for.
I mean, I was just wondering.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Madri. Oh, no knowledge local, I guess?
No, I could do nobility, but that's about it.
Ah, okay. Well. Okay, so you walk into the room.
So maybe just me.
Yeah, so you walk into the room, and Lucas and Khalid recognize you. He is Ven Yon, a famous pirate. Well, not famous, a very good pirate. Which is why he's not that famous. He's not the most famous pirate. That would be his former commander. You know what, Shao? You know your backstory better than I do. So you explain to them who you are. Well, not like the backstory about why you're here. Just the backstory of you're a famous pirate. You formerly served for Sir Frankus, the biggest pirate to have ever raided Tripoli, and Tripsick and Orantown and Sineston and Peninsulatum.
Yeah, so I turned to did a pretty how do I put this, sarcastic bow, with that, and then I opened my toothy smile, and you can see that there's a few rotten tooths and several ornaments missing. And despite the fact that this guy is a high elf, Ven Young is not a very not very typical of elves, I guess you could say. So he's and he turns to the Oaken Chairs and address them. So thank you for the high and mighty Oaken Chairs to invite me here today. It appeared that my crew and I, or what's left of my crew, have some information that could be useful to all of you.
Slade's Fardish kind of leans forward. Lord, these man's pirates have raided my ships before.
Oh, that we have, for sure.
Instead of standing here, He should be hanged. Crassus kind of like leans back. Like, Slady, you gotta learn to relax. Sometimes there are bigger things going on. Ymir Yggdrasil leans forward. No, I think Slade is technically right. By law, this man should be hanged. Denul says nothing, and a bunch of other nobles are just holding back their rage. Do any of you guys say anything besides Shao?
Yeah, Major raises her hand, I guess, to be recognized.
All right, so Eland just kind of looks at you and nods.
And she kind of addresses like the room and the Oaken Chairs a little more specifically, and she says, "Eland has been our prince he's still a prince, right?
Yes.
He's the other king. He's like, well, obviously all of his life. She's like, I've never known him to do something rash or outside of Tripsick's best interest. It can't hurt to at least hear this man out. And if he deserves to be hanged afterwards, then that is up to the king, the prince, and the law of Tripsick."
King Edward just kind of like nods at you because he likes what you said. Another man steps forward from the nobility, right? He pushes actually past Boar, right? And from the rafters, there's knowledge, nobility to recognize. So DC 5 knowledge, nobility to recognize him as Cornelius Song, the head of House Song. Claudius Song, the head of House Song.
Hey.
And you can also, I guess you guys can roll knowledge history right now also for him, since whatever, it's already ready. He puts his hands on the rafters and he says, "Honestly, by law, I agree. But the fact that you sank Slade Zvardish's ships, I commend you, Sir Venyon. You might actually be the biggest hero in this room."
And your problems are yours.
He walks back past Boar. Alright, what was the highest nobility check that was just rolled? 23 by Madra?
Hey.
Cool. So he's Claudius Song, head of the Knights of Song, which is one of the most powerful. Arguably, House Song is more powerful than Oaken Chair houses. They were an Oaken Chair for a long time, but within the past generation, they lost their Oaken Chair position to Slade Svardish. The details of it is that Slade married into their family, and then through like some political maneuvering, when Slade's wife died, and the direct line to Song wasn't available, then the Oaken Chairs pushed for Slade to be an Oaken Chair over Claudius Song, which was like a big deal. So only him being head of the Knights of Song and Claudius Song is the DC 10, but the DC 20 was everything I just said, and as well as the songs, similar to Aurelius, mine a rare metal called Lapilis, which is a blue form of jade steel, which also helps with their wealth. But generally, songs are involved in everything. They're such a big family. They are involved in shipping. They're involved in building military weapons, running inns, nearly every single thing. Their house motto is that there is always a song, because everywhere you go, there is always a song.
You're on your thing right now, aren't you?
That's for DC 20. So for history, what was the highest history roll? 22. All right, if you got DC 5, the songs are considered to be the oldest and most powerful family, besides the line of Edward. DC 10 is they were an Oaken Chair until recently. DC 15 means that you know that the songs have historically always been opposed to line Edward. They're considered what are called Latins, which are different people that fought with line Edward 1,000 years ago. So Edwards are where English names come from, like English last names come from in this kingdom, whereas the songs are called are Latins, which is where Latin and Roman names come from. Yes, and then that's all you got as far as nobility. So he has a personal... He has a personal reason to not like Slade Svardish. Anyway, so he says that. A lot of the other nobles start grumbling. Some of them are actually very quiet. Let me see. Alex alone, you noticed that among the houses, the only other house that's kind of like really quiet and off to a corner is House Viridi. They're the same ones that walked in, that you saw at the front of the line.
Okay.
They seem not interested in being passionate about any of this.
Okay.
Eland speaks, but they're yeah. Anyway, so Eland then speaks up once again. Gosh dang it. So Eland speaks up again. Thank you, Maedra, and thank you, Sir Song, for... Thank you, Maedra, and thank you, House Song, for that stirring, for those kind words from Maedra, and the opposite of that from Sir Song. She's right. Months ago, I sent a small group of ships down to the south, into the endless sea, where we have said forever that it is an endless sea. For too long, we thought that in-world is the world. That this is it. That there's nothing beyond there. That to go too far north into the impassable mountains, too far south into the endless sea, or to go east and west is certain death because of the magical beasts that live there. You can't go 3 miles out without dying from a kraken. I disagreed.
I cough a little bit as he says that.
I sent 3 ships down into the endless sea, and Sir Jan followed them to sink them. But wait, before you all get mad again, he did not fully succeed. They went south into the Endless Sea, past Insulatum and past Vampire, and Sir Jan caught up to them and invaded their ships. He was raiding them, when suddenly, well, he can give you guys a better story than I can. What exactly happened to those ships, Sir Jan? Well, Mr. Jan. Then Jan.
Well, let's see. As our ships was preparing to ram the fleets and board them, let's just say a third group appeared, and what happened afterwards was a complete clusterfuck. And there were 3 groups fighting each other, blows flying everywhere, then smell of gunpowder. Gunpowder. Wrong universe. Blows everywhere, and arrows flying everywhere, steel and screaming and explosions and magic. And you could hear and you could hear the fear being struck into some of the saltiest men I've ever known, and some of the bravest soldiers, and I'll only say this once, I've ever seen. Finally, when the smoke cleared, all of the explorers were annihilated, except some of them, the small group of them, got onto my ship. 2 of my own ships were two of my ships were sunk themselves. None of the Navy ships were survived, and somehow or the other, very few of the invaders, as far as I could tell, even took a significant amount of damage, let alone been sunk. And that's how I ended up here. The explorers allowed me to speak to their leader, Noble, and sorry, Pablo, what was the name of the prince?
Eland?
Eland, yeah. And Prince Eland promised me safety as well as an audience here to relay this in particular bit of information to you. Now.
And really quickly though. Sorry, I'm gonna interrupt real quick. And Eland says, "Thank you, Aegis Art, for the tier 3 sub. You're the number 1 fan. Let's go." All right, keep going, Shao.
Now, I would have been more than happy to just stay back in my city, rebuild my ships and my fleet, and gather some more salty sea dogs to chase down those invaders. But it seems like now all of you nobles here have gotten a particular bit of bones to pick with these guys.
Right. A few the man from House Scald lifts his hand and says, "So we're gonna strike back then, right? We're gonna send a fleet and sink their ships. Because this is an insult to us. This is an attack. Who are they?"
I raise my hand.
Eland nods at you.
I'm like, or is this more of an exploratory mission?
Eland then says, Lucas, behind that drunk exterior, he understands what's really going on. I don't want to start a war." He places his hand on the table. That's the opposite of what I want. But I do want to know what is there. I want to send another exploratory mission to the south. But I cannot just send 3 ships this time. I don't want to send a navy, but I want to send 15 ships. I want to send various members of the nobility. I want to send a good seaman who knows exactly what we're up against. He looks at Venyon. That's what I want to do. 15 ships. Some of you will go. Some of you will not. I want volunteers. I'm not going to promise the Oaken Chair position from this, but let's just say it's very open and it's very on the table right now. And then he turns to Major and says, "But this isn't just our continent. I want the nobility of Vinatelli to be present as well."
Major kind of looks to Eland and Scully. Eland and Scully. Pedant and Scully, because they're both next to me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Scully sort of scoffs and laughs. "I'm an old woman. You think I don't think I know you, Eland? This seems like it could be a costly mission. This seems like it could be dangerous. Why would I send my own son or his wife south? What really is out there? Here. But I'm not the only ruler here. Pedant and Major, looks like you're waiting for the rest of us to say something." Pedant kind of like looks a little nervous, being put on the spot. And then he looks at Eland. He says, "I've spent my entire life with books. I love books. But they can't answer everything. What if further south answers, like, what happened, like before the period of high magic? What if we're not... What if we're the ones behind? What if the period of high magic only hit us? Or what if we're the ones ahead? The world is shrinking, I think. Supposedly the Muse of High Magic, a legend that none of us even saw, died less than a year ago. The Duke of Militelion died less than a year ago. The Tower of the Green Banner was vaporized, and we've not seen Lady Kaelin since. The most powerful divine caster that we've ever known of in our history. And now this is it. Probably in this room, not counting the great noble houses of Vinatelli, the most powerful people that we know of are right here. But, like, what if we're not? What if there's other people? Like, what if it was a misunderstanding? I would go.
I interrupt here.
Okay.
And I say, no offense, Pedon, but if I'm going to choose for someone for this mission, you stay at home. I'd rather take your wife.
Oh my gosh.
Four chuckles at this.
That phrasing.
He gets up and he looks like he's trying to hold back. He looks at Maedra, like, to see what you suggested him, like, with your face, I guess.
Mater just kind of has this look of like her eyes are kind of rolled back, and she's like, "Oh my God, Lucas," and her face is just like, "Could you have said that any worse?"
He sits back down. And he looks at you. He's like, "You're drunk."
I'm like, what else is new?
Are you even allowed to be drunk at an Oaken Chair meeting?
Has it ever disqualified me in my performance?
I wouldn't know. I haven't talked to the few ladies you've met.
Well, Trinidad will be back, so you can ask her then.
Crassus starts laughing. Oh, come on, Lucas! You don't have to lie to everyone in the room.
I throw Marcus, or I throw Aurelius some Crassus some funny shade.
Most of
Bringing it back.
Oh man, someone cares about the nobility.
Major says, I certainly wouldn't mind going to find the answers, and I believe that of the nobility of Vinatelli, and as far as the royal family goes, I am certainly the least important at the time. Right now, if it's something that I can do to better the knowledge of my country, then it's something I should do. I'm also the... Crap, that word. Yeah, basically, like, if I die, Pedant can move on. Like, he can find someone else. But they're like the last Eluve.
So, you don't... Okay, so I was gonna
Scully appreciates that.
Yeah, I was gonna say like sense motive, but you definitely don't need sense motive on this. So like Scully was laughing the entire time up, like the entire exchange with Lucas and Crassus and all them, but she becomes quiet after you say that. Pedant immediately like jumps up and he just shouts out, "What do you mean you're what? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's literally the dumbest thing. You're not just less important than me. You're the queen of our kingdom. Yeah, maybe you're a better choice to go out there, but it's not because you're less important. It's because I suck at fighting. I'm not a hero. I never will. I'm not the Slayer. Shut up, you drunk. Like, I know I'm not doing a good job yelling, but imagine that he's like actually yelling this. So what if I'm an Eluve? It doesn't matter. We're dead anyway. We're dead race anyway. I'm the last one. Doesn't matter who I marry. I'm always going to be the last one.
We won't know that until we see what's out there either, though.
There
might be more.
So what? What if you go out there and you're expecting to die, so that way I marry an Eluve? Then what happens if you go out there...
I'm not expecting to die.
Then it doesn't matter if there's an Eluve out there or not. I'm already married.
Hey! Save it for your honeymoon. Stop fighting.
I'm
Crassus
pretty
is...
sure they already had it.
Yeah, I think that's over. We fed our peasants. That was our honeymoon. We had a nice, pretty party. And Major kind of like puts her hand on like Pedon's forearm and is like, "I'm sorry I didn't express myself well. It was not my intention to upset you, or really anyone here, with that comment. I was really just trying to express a willingness to go and to this exploration and see what's out there, for both of our countries, actually. Came out wrong.
Queen Major sort of like chuckles. It's like,
Hi, Queen Major.
all right. I mean, not Queen Major. Queen Scully sort of chuckles. If you want to go, I think you should go. I trust you. And Pedon, you know, you two are the other half of the monarchy. So if you think you should go, I'd rather not turn it into we need to disagree on our monarch vote. Wendy, you do understand the monarch vote thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone else, you could roll like knowledge local for Vinatelli politics. You want to understand how it works. It's a really convoluted and dumb system. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way it works is that Vinatelli... So everyone but Borg got this. So the way Vinatelli's specific political system works is that it's not a single monarchy. So like in Tripsick, there's only one...
It's like Sparta.
There's only one king. In Vinatelli, the king and the queen rule evenly, right? So they each essentially have one vote. And when they tie, that vote goes down to the four great noble houses, who then vote, and if that ties, it goes to the general population, which makes it a pain in the fucking ass to vote. Like, because that takes forever. And, like, lots of pointless things can take months to resolve because of this. Because you get this, like, weird situation where, like, marital disputes can sometimes turn into, like, a political dispute that involves a democratic voting process. And people will be like, I'm Team Scully this time. I'm Team Mulder. Luckily, that hasn't happened in Major's reign yet. But the other nitpicky, pedantic detail about this is that it's split between queen and king, but you marry the throne next to you, essentially. So the thing is that so Queen Scully is the queen. She owns 50% of the monarchy, but the other 50% goes to the king, which is currently co-shared by Pedon and Madra. So they each only have 25% of the power. So the two of them together make 50%. So when they vote together, they can tie against Scully. But if they vote against each other at any point, it's basically whatever Scully says goes. When Scully dies, they both gain 50% back. But in the meantime, they're both split. But since they're agreeing now, right, Queen Scully is saying she doesn't want to go against them because it's a pain in the fucking ass to do the entire democratic voting process. Does that make sense to everyone?
Mm-hmm. I got it.
Yep.
Is that pointlessly tedious enough for how real life works? Great. All right. So Queen Scully says, all right, if you want to be the one to go, that's fine. I recommend you take Roxy with you, so you have someone to teleport you back and forth, or never know when you're gonna, be wasting your time on a Tripsickian mission. Did I mention I hate this city?
And Major just kind of says, it's always good to take a friendly face. That's sober.
I lift up my hand again.
Yes.
Well, I mean, if Major's going, I'm going.
Really? You couldn't follow that up with, well, we killed a god together. This should be good.
No, I like this one better for the context.
Alright, Lucas, you don't know how that affected Pedon at all. Everyone else, you can tell that he looks, like, angry at Lucas.
And Major's just kind of got this, like, oh my god look on her face.
Elin sort of nods. It's like, alright, so here's what I was thinking. I was gonna ask for volunteers, and we already have 2. And I was gonna give 3 days before the volunteers can all be set. Jan, you'll be going, I assume. I hope. After all, I hope we can work out an arrangement. Obviously, Slade obviously sort of like scuffs at that. But that's the main issue of this meeting. Unless King Edward would like to make a decision, does any other Oaken Chair or any other general noble want to oppose this motion? No? Very well. And then there's another thing. I said we are of 3 countries. I checked the roster today, and lo and behold, there's a man here from the Kingdom of Militelion, of all the places in the world. His name is Boar.
It's Boar.
Wait, did you actually say that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Like, a lot of the nobles start turning and looking at you like you're some weirdo.
I laugh.
That's fair. That's fair.
Boar, how would you like to go on a trip to the south?
I have been adventuring my entire life, and while this political room is probably the most fun I've had in the past 5 months, seriously, the comments back and forth have been quite enjoyable. I think it's time for me to go adventuring again.
That's the spirit, and I promise to reward you handsomely, which with another topic that I'll talk about in a little bit, I think. Venyan, you said you wanted 2 ships. I'll do you better. I'll give you 5. I will send 5 ships south of the 15 that, for each one of them that returns, you can keep it.
A much better deal you can't get, Vinyan.
I shall.
Oh no, we've
Oh no, he actually did just disappear.
fuck. All right, well we're gonna skip. Okay, that comment. Pretend Shao said whatever he's going to say in the future. Darn. All right.
Oh, he B-sawed.
He beats.
hit a blue screen.
Oh gosh, that's basically
And technical difficulties.
no.
Jan has a seizure.
Blood on his
Oh,
face.
his epilepsy as well? Damn! That's a good character flaw right there.
Are you kidding me? That's so extreme.
All right.
That's so much. That's terrible for a flaw.
Dude, come on. If you're gonna pick one and get like 2 feats for it, you might as well pick that one.
I personally like.
I would
Epilepsy.
suggest blind over that.
I think the
I've
best.
done it before.
Wait,
I
you want to
think-
be like blind and deaf? Like, I'd rather just have like a 1 in 40 chance of epilepsy. Whatever.
I think the best flaw is called. I don't actually have a name for it, but I already thought of how it works. Every time you say a sentence that's grammatically incorrect, you get a -2 penalty to 1 stat randomly for the entire day.
Oh jeez.
But you must say.
Obviously call it grammar Nazi.
Oh my gosh, you're right. But you must
In the
say.
literal sense for one.
You must say at least 12 sentences per 30-minute period, or else you're cheating.
12
Just never
sentences.
talks.
Nope. You have to say 12 sentences within 30 minutes.
And then your second flaw is mute.
No!
No, I'm kidding.
Then how do you say your 12 sentences?
Hey, there
Just
you go.
mouth them.
Oh my goodness, Shao.
Oh my gosh, I missed you so much. Where have you been all my life, baby?
Alright, so I like literally the moment Pablo says then Yang and then my computer blue screen, so I don't know what he said.
Oh, he said, Venyan. Wait, were you here before or after he was talking to Boar?
After.
Okay, so he said, Venyan, you said you wanted 2 ships, but I'll do you better. 5 of the ships that go south, I'm gonna say that they're yours. So if they make it back, you can keep them.
And the crew?
I'm sure a rich pirate like you will get enough money to fund your own crew.
What about after we come back?
No. There'll be a crew. I will give you a crew to get there. When you get back, you get to keep the ships.
Alright, I can work with that. When do we head out?
3 days. Maybe less. Maybe more. Provided, of course, he looks at King Edward. King Edward sort of leans back in his chair. I approve of this decision. But no war. Not until we know who or what is even down there. I don't want another war.
Well, Your Excellencies or Highness or whatever have you, there's too many of you in this room. Just beware that these people, they didn't even send a message, no hailing, no communication of any source, no flag, nothing, and all they do is they show up and then they start burning and killing. So I don't know if that's up to you.
Crassus, he didn't even raise his hand. He leans back in his chair, hands behind his head. He replies, yeah, but there's a difference between defending yourself in a war. You're a pirate. You don't know what a war is. A war is. In a defensive exploratory edition, you still bring defense. If people attack you, you attack them back. But in a war, you burn crops. You pillage and rape and whatever. I don't know. I actually haven't been in a war either. But I know what it's about.
Don't worry. I know is it your name Crassus? Whatever you are.
Yeah, you pronounce it close enough.
Let's just say, go ask the hundreds of ships I've sank over the past 100 or so years at the bottom of the sea.
There's a difference between a war and sinking ships. Come on, you're a pirate. Obviously you sank ships. That's like saying, oh man, I'm a swordsman. I didn't kill a guy or something at some point. Probably did. You don't know. You don't know it. You don't know the mysteries of my heart.
At that, Benyan's just he just shakes his head and, did his same old toothy smile. But if anybody, actually looked at him, you could tell that, his face is smiling, but his eyes definitely aren't.
So
right.
I'm like, well, volunteers?
Eland kind of shrugs, well, no one really speaks up. Eland kind of shrugs, and is you guys have days time, but I don't know. Well, it's not like you're not helping out the monarchy with this. With that, I think that's good enough for the general meeting today. And immediately, as soon as he says that, all the nobles start erupting, and well, not all of them, but most of them start erupting into loudness. House Mimisbrunner stands up, and their head it is what about the Oaken Chair position today? Hey, House Song Ong is laughing. The Claudius Song laughs. It's ha! No justice for you today, Slade Svardish. How does it feel, Eel? House Viridi's still quiet because they're whatever. House Rose is that's it? That's what this entire thing was about? Just an exploratory expedition? And blah, 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 blah. And mostly, in general, most of the complaints are nobles are you can't... It's been 7 months and there's still an empty Oaken Chair spot. Eland just kind of shrugs what do I care if there's an Oaken Chair spot? It's not I can't... It's not it'll be filled eventually. It's not I need... It's not you're absolutely... It's not... No, hold on. How exactly would you phrase this?
Is that absolutely necessary?
It's not it's required for me to have 8 Oaken Chairs before a decision is made. The monarchy is... The line of Edward is above the Oaken Chairs. There is no voting process. This isn't a democracy. It's a monarchy. Meeting adjourned. Then the nobles erupt again, and one of them, by the way, says, "What about House She? Weren't we gonna revoke her nobility status? DC. Well, it's always DC5. DC5 to recognize."
Okay.
Auto success.
Okay. House Hawk, one of Renault's sworn houses, is the one that's commenting, weren't we going to remove House She? Eland kind of shrugs and is like, that's not really my problem either.
House She? How do you spell that?
S-I-D-H-E.
Alright.
S-H...
S-I-D-H-E.
Oh. Yeah. We need to remove that house.
Excuse you? That's me.
I know.
Oh my gosh, I thought you were talking about House Hawk for a moment. I'm like, okay, that's fair. And then I was wondering why Wendy was upset, because it's like, why would you be upset? Anyway, Eland just begins to walk out while everyone's
Wait. Where did House Hawk say... I hear House Hawk say that. I'm like, here.
Oh my gosh. Wait, are you being serious? If not,
I'm being drunk.
Okay, okay. I guess it's not really a bluff check, so that's fine. Alright, but some people are gonna think you're being serious, though.
You can't ever tell with a drunk paladin.
Alright. Anyway, so Eland begins to walk out, unless any of you guys have anything more to say to him.
I tell him how rich am I going to get from this exploratory expedition.
Eland said, I don't know, go ahead and ask the Royal Treasury. I'm sure there's, on the next, no, come on. Go ahead and go and ask the Royal Treasury. I'm sure you know where it is since you fought a dragon at the top of this castle. They probably have some money to give you.
Oh, okay.
And he begins to walk out. As all the nobles are yelling and still complaining, Crassus stands in his chair. By the way, ladies drink free, obviously, but party in my place. Let's see. He starts pointing around the room. Let's see. No House Hawk, because you guys seem like you're dicks. Slade Svardish, you're too grumpy. You don't get to show up. And let's see. Yggdrasil, Polyps, Baron, fuck you guys too. You don't get to show up either, but everyone else party in my house.
I'm like, woo! And I jump on the table with him.
Sorry, who said that?
Crassus Aurelius.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to that.
Alright, so the nobles all start arguing and stuff. The meeting's technically adjourned because Eland's walking out. So you guys could stay the entire time or leave or whatever. Crassus also begins to walk out because he's got a party to plan.
Yeah. Well, he's doing that. So he's doing that, and I'm like, oh, I got an idea. I'm gonna piss off Kedon some more. So I uncork a bottle of wine and I go up to Madra. I'm like, you want a glass?
I'm good. I'm really okay, Lucas, but thank you for offering.
Pedant looks angry again, and Queen Scully walks over to you, puts her hand on your shoulder, and is like, will you please stop making fun of my son? He's the pride and joy of my life, and he's about to have an aneurysm, and I hope that I die before him, because stress is a horrible thing.
Oh, and I turn to her, I'm like, oh, you're totally right, Queen Scully. Just one more question, if you don't mind. Sorry. I want to make one more question to Madra.
This is going to be another jab at my son, isn't it?
Yes, just a very small one.
At least he's honest.
You know, on one hand, you sort of saved Vinatelli. On the other hand, you're such a drunk. Oh my gosh. The world needs more and yet somehow less men like you every day, Lucas. Queen Scully laughs as she just starts walking out.
I'm like, yo, Major, are you going to Crassus's party?
I really hadn't given that much thought.
Oh.
That crazy hound dog. I just don't know if I can handle him.
Pedon kind of leans. Don't you mean that crazy horn dog?
I'm like, it's your way to catch up, Madra.
We're gonna be on a voyage.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You're making fun of my husband.
No. I'm going to leave now. I'm going to go to Crassus's house. I'll see you later.
Well, that ultimately achieves my goal, since if you're not here, you can't make fun of him.
Yep. Alright.
Ah.
See ya.
Deuces.
Pedon's like, and you adventured with him for like how long? Like a year?
Yeah.
Man, I feel sorry for you.
It's basically trying to keep babies from running off cliffs is what it feels like.
Oof. Alright.
Oh, wait. As I'm leaving. Hey, Boar, you coming?
Oh yeah. I'll be down there in a minute, and I scurry on down.
Yeah, and I turn around and I look at, what's his face? Benyon. I'm like, what about you, pirate fiend?
He was technically invited to the party.
Oh, yeah, I know, but I'm double checking. Well, how do they know where to go? I know where Crassus's house is. How do they know?
Well, obviously you know where Crassus's house is.
Yeah, exactly. We partied together. We're like bros. Wait. Oh, hey,
sorry.
Benyon?
No,
Benyon?
sorry, my bad. Yeah, I was muted.
Coming?
So I look at, what's your character? Well, what's your character's name?
Lucas?
Lucas. So I look at Lucas, I look at Crassus, I assume I know who that guy is since, I was talking to him.
Yeah, he was standing on top of the table and invited everyone to his party.
Yeah, so like, I just kind of like spit, turn around and leaves.
Damn.
Okay. Wait,
I'll
you
read.
you spit at who?
No,
Or just in
turn it
general?
down. Yeah, spit to the side.
It's
I
just
look
like,
at
Oh.
I
being
made
dismissive.
made like a very obvious face of disgust, spit on the ground, and I guess I walked to either Prince Eland if he's still there. If he's not, then
Eland's walking out. But he's walking out from a different direction. He's walking back through the room that you came from, right? So he's walking through top left, whereas everyone else is leaving from the bottom, which is where you normally are supposed to leave from.
I'm walking that way.
Okay.
No, wait.
Wait, what a lame pirate, dude. What pirate doesn't want a party?
Okay.
Well, I mean, that guy kind of pissed me off, so
Crassus pissed you off?
yeah.
Why?
I mean, like, what kind of a person looks at a pirate and says, "Yeah, you don't know how to do anything"? I'm like,
You're a pirate! Everyone does that! Oh my god!
No, he said that you don't know what a war is like.
well, it's obviously like this guy doesn't even do it like the day of hard work or a day of hard labor.
All right, that's fair. That's actually.
But
That's,
you're a pirate! You are like the outcast of society. That's exactly what
Hey,
they're supposed to do.
he feels insulted, so he's gonna hang out with his rich heir to the monarchy instead.
Yeah. What a pretentious bastard.
Oh my gosh, everyone's got their motivations in this campaign, okay? It's like
That's
magic.
true.
It's like Magic Game of Thrones, but with less of all the fucked up shit of Game of Thrones, okay?
Yeah. Okay, well, Boar's coming with me to the party.
Okay.
I don't know what Major's doing. And then I guess...
Party.
Pedon kind of shrugs, like, how bad could the party be?
Oh, we can go.
Yeah.
You should see this.
Oh my.
Major does kind of want, at one point though, to stop by the House of the Dead just to say hi to
Oh
things.
gosh.
She's in town.
Okay. You mean the famous House Black?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Not. It's actually not famous at all. It's the tiny House Black. All right. Kyle Liming, what are you gonna do?
I turned to Lady Black, and
I was actually about to have a conversation with you too.
yeah, and be like,
Yeah, Toad's poor.
well, before anything else, I think that I should retrieve my my valet,
That
and
seems-
perhaps see whose acquaintances I've yet to meet within your own house. Should I be welcome?
That seems most prudent. You mentioned your house is not around anymore.
It isn't right now, but I intend to bring it back around.
This seems like a good opportunity for that.
Quite. And I happen to be pretty confident that I will be able to make the short list. I've spent most of the last 100 years living outside beyond the great unknown. I'm pretty sure that I'm one of the most qualified people you could find.
That seems most fortuitous, then. I think I should join you.
So, anyway, I was like, well, after you. And
Yes.
so I think we're going to just kind of like head back to the House Black then, talking to Pablo.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll return to House Black.
All right. Is it all right if I sort of wait? So, Shower, you're just gonna hang out with Eland the rest of the night, or like?
Yeah, I guess.
Oof.
Or like, wherever he set me up, just with me with my crew and whatnot.
Oof.
Or I don't
Okay.
know, just some business to take care of.
Not particularly. This actually makes a sort of interesting situation.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
In terms of the splitting thing,
Yeah, a bit. I think that's what's going on.
Gonna split the party.
yeah. It's
That's
okay. I mean, at
That's what I'm
least
saying. Let's all go to the party at Crassus's house.
at least Alex and I are like mostly
No.
like a side thing.
But those two are fine. The thing is that because all you guys are leaving from the south, and Shao's leaving from following Eland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I catch your drift.
All right.
Just maybe you and Ghost are like, I don't know, somewhere, looped around to the south.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
I mean, dang, I thought a pirate would like to party, but I guess not.
Oh my gosh, you have to put it in context. He's a very sensitive pirate. Okay.
He's been insulted. I don't
I'll be
think
right
he
back.
wants
I'm
to
gonna
go
get a
party
drink.
with somebody.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, but imagine if Pedant had said to you instead of "you're drunk," he said, "You're such a sober guy." Wouldn't you have like just left the room?
no, I would have kept drinking to prove him wrong.
You know what? I totally sort of have how I'm gonna temporarily resolve this issue. So as you guys are leaving the throne room from the south and Shao from the northwest, and this is the only reason why, by the way, Crassus are already left. He's gone. Go away, Crassus. Suddenly, well, you two are at the top or whatever. One of the guards. So here's the thing. Okay, you know what? Let's. Okay, let me ask here. Do you guys want to play for another 30 minutes, or do you just want to call it a night? Actually,
We're returns are combat, right?
that's exactly
Yeah.
why.
If we're fighting, I'm in.
But it's Juan and Major. It's fine if you say no. It's fine because that just means I have more material for next time. But
Yeah, I think. I kind of.
Perhaps you should use this as a stinger opportunity to introduce the
That's
combat
true.
scenario, and then we call it there.
okay, so I'll just start the situation.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. So as you guys are walking out the throne room, suddenly two guards burst inside of the throne room. Both of them there's blood all over their armor, and they don't even have their weapons. But they put their hands up, seeing you guys walking out. It's like, stop! Don't leave the room! Don't leave the room!
What the hell's going on?
The crates of the tournament, they broke open. It's dangerous out there. You can't go. Not until we somehow catch them. What are those things? They're shouting into the throne room. Hey.
Wait, what the fuck? Monsters?
Yes.
I'm going.
I just rushed towards it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I do too. I stumble towards them because I'm too drunk for this.
A fight? Let's go.
So
Yeah.
I'm pretty fast, also.
back.
50-foot lands.
All right,
Zoom.
Wendy. Basically,
Wait,
what
hold
happened?
on.
Two guards barged into the throne room, covered with blood, saying, "No one leave the throne room. It's dangerous outside. They got loose. They got loose. Loose. You have to stay here till we fix it."
Nah, I rush outside. Yeah, I'm gonna
I
do
got
that.
loose.
One of the guys is like, "I don't even know what it is that got loose. It's this giant black and red monster thing." The other guy's like, "It's not just one of them. It's like 6 of them."
I walk up to one of the guards like, what got loose, son?
I don't know what it. I just said I don't know what it is, but no.
What does it look like? Describe it.
like-
You have a brain, don't you?
Like a panther, but giant. And the other one, as you guys are running by, he's like trying to grab you guys. He's like, "No, what are you doing? It's dangerous."
It's like look, I'm the Dragon Slayer. I'm gonna go save you. Leave me alone.
All right, so everyone's ditching.
I pull out my great sword.
Yeah, me too. I
Shao,
prepare for combat.
they're like they're completely panicked. They're basically just repeating themselves like, "You can't go. They're giant and dangerous and deadly."
Yeah, I have my sword out.
Yeah, it's time to be murder hobos again, guys.
Oh god,
Yeah.
my computer!
Feels great to be back.
Yeah. I ran running all the way from the bleachers to where I was took me 1 action.
I look back to the prince, and as I run out, I shout, if I kill these things, I want some payment. And
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
Now he acts like a pirate.
Yeah.
All right,
The giant panthers haven't insulted me yet, so I'm gonna kill them.
they haven't insulted you, so you're going to kill them.
Well, yeah, if they insult me, I don't want to bother.
All right,
Nice.
I activate my wand of nerve skitter. That's
hold on. Don't activate spells and stuff because if we're ending tonight, then
Well,
then
I'm
that's
just
it.
gonna keep it ready for.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, no. Okay, so the picture is just there, so that way you guys can see what it looks like before we end session.
Yum.
Yeah, it's not that
I
big.
didn't think that was like we are fighting like a gargantuan
Yeah,
monster.
So instead, this is a situation. So you guys, here's your tokens are here. I'm gonna move them over to where you guys would have left from, right? So
Yeah.
You guys are coming out of there, and essentially so behind the top there would be like guards with like spears and shields, and actually surrounding the entire square where the tournament was being held is a bunch of guards with spears and armor and like literally a shield wall, all trying to like keep these giant. They look like right now they look like the thing in the middle, the big panther looking thing, and they're all trying to just like scare them back. They're like back, like, and the monsters are like they're not completely like attacking or whatever, but it's like a sort of like a standoff type situation with them, right?
They're trying to circle them and whatnot.
Right.
That's right.
Anyway, but and there is like a corpse or whatever of like a guy completely just shredded up. He's not even recognizable anymore. You don't know if it's a guard or a knight, but he's dead or whatever. But yeah. Oh, and the crates. So here's the other thing: the crates that were at the tournament scene. You remember here at the bottom left? Okay, those are broken. That was what the knowledge. That's actually what the knowledge architecture engineering check was.
Okay.
To recognize that they weren't sturdy enough.
Alrighty.
All right, but so we want to end there then?
Yeah, say, should we knowledge check it?
No, not unless you want to end there.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
Yeah.
Wendy's.
I can do.
All right, that's fine. Wendy's gone anyway, so we're gonna call.
Her computer glitched. That was
Yeah.
her problem.
That's fine. I understand. It's tech difficulties that happen. So let's call it a night there then, guys.
Yeah.
Good session. I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you everyone who tuned in. I hope you had a good time. I hope you'll follow us on future adventures, and I hope you'll look at these when they go on the YouTube channel. Planning on editing them to have even higher quality and stuff like that. Thanks for tuning in to DRX's first Roll20. Finally, we're playing what gave our namesake. It's Damage Reduction 10, and we've never played D&D.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in, Murphy. You're the homie. I'm gonna name a character after you. Not even kidding.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Alright, see ya.
Alright, see ya.